You're a mammy. That's all I have to say. What's happening? Not your mammy.
Oh, I was going to say, not my mammy.
No, I was talking to people on that listen on their mammy.
Yeah, everybody else is mammy.
God, I was watching Cops last night. I haven't watched Cops in a long time. I used to watch it all the time. Mm-hmm. And there was a cop on there. I think they were in Memphis.
Okay.
And I grew up in the inner city. Okay. Mm-hmm. I could not understand one word this cop was saying. He's talking to the guy. He's like, "Look here, man. The thing you got to do is get off to your ass. Do it." I'm like, "What are you saying?" Is that like a Southern deal?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably. I was going, what? What did you say?
I haven't watched Cops in forever. Is it still as wild as it was back in the day?
I don't think it's as wild as it was. I mean, there are times, I guess, it gets that way, but I've only seen it a couple of times. I used to watch it every Sunday. Was it Sunday or Saturday?
Yeah.
It was.
But we buried the lead.
Yeah.
Today.
The real question is, do you want us to sing now or later? Yeah.
Oh, it's Johnny Rivers' birthday. You're right.
Can we get all of the listeners out to say happy birthday?
Did you know that? It's Johnny Rivers' birthday. Would you grab a Johnny Rivers song?
I'm not even sure I know who Johnny Rivers is.
Oh, one of the greats of all time. He's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay, all right.
And the boy could sing and play a guitar and the whole deal. It's not his real name. His real name wasn't Johnny Rivers. I don't know what it was. But
looks like
Johnny Berditzman.
Johnny Berditzman.
That'd be a good name. People would never forget it.
John Henry Ramelsta.
Well, there you
Ramestella.
Does it sound like he would sing something called "Baby, I Need Your Lovin'"?
Baby, I need your lovin'.
Hi.
Oh, not that.
Hi, this is Johnny Rivers.
But Tom, it was fun for your first however many years having a birthday, but now that it's Ethan's birthday.
It's Ethan. He stole my birthday.
Yeah.
JB's son John stole my birthday too.
But happy birthday.
Yeah. Thank you.
From both of us and all the listeners. And here to celebrate.
Baby, I need your love. A hell of a voice, doesn't he?
Oh, sensational.
I need your loving. Maybe I should do a Johnny Rivers show. Just hit the stage, start singing.
Yeah.
I was in a band from the time I was 11 to 19, so that was good.
That was like a garage band with your high school friends type of deal?
Yep.
See,
that's grade school friends, actually.
I feel like that everybody has to go through that phase of whether because you have to figure out if you're a good musician or not. Like everybody wants to be a rapper or a singer, and then you find out that I can't sing at all, or it's
that wasn't it.
Looks. You could sing, right?
I could sing, yeah.
And play.
I don't know why either. I don't know why I can do impressions. Is there something about that's wrong with your brain that you can do that stuff?
I feel like it's something early on because
probably, yeah.
Like if you tried to do an impression once you get to like 30 years old, I feel like you just don't do it. In your head, maybe it sounds good, but like to everybody else, it doesn't. But you're just more impressionable and open to like adjusting your voice and stuff as a kid.
Yeah.
When I will tell you that you guys know who Ed Sullivan is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Big Sunday night show. Mm-hmm. But that was a long time ago.
Well, that was the Bubbles, right? The Bubbles.
No, that was Lawrence Welk.
Lawrence Welk. That's what I'm thinking of then. Never mind.
You know,
I know who Ed Sullivan is.
Yeah, you know it.
I just got him mixed up.
And now for all you youngsters,
yeah.
That's how he introduced the Beatles. Did you know that? He comes on the stage, he's doing this. He's got his hands at his side. He goes, and now for all you youngsters, the Beatles. He said the Beatles.
To him, it was the Beatles were some new hippy dippy band that will never catch on.
Look at these little guys with their mop heads.
They don't even make real music like they used to anymore.
Pretty much true.
Yeah.
And by the way, Ed decided who was going to be on and who wasn't going to be on.
Yeah. Well, back in those days, there were so many gatekeepers.
Oh, yeah.
With shows like the Ed Sullivan Show and things like that, where if they didn't approve of you, you weren't going to make it.
No, there's no question. You're absolutely right about that. There were guys in the record business back then. Matter of fact, when did you book the guy from the record business?
I finalized yesterday with Art. Art emailed.
Honest to God, I'm gonna love talking to him because I think he worked at Capitol Records. I don't know if it was the same time I did, but I think he did. Let me see if I can find him. Kenneth Womack, yeah.
Yep.
Kenneth Womack, the Beatles' longtime roadie. Well, that's who he was. That's why I've heard his name before. I never got to meet any of the Beatles. I talked to him on the phone, but I never got to meet any of them. I guess I still have a chance with Ringo and Paul, right? They're not dead yet anyway.
No, not quite.
that is that I still can't believe somebody shot John. Why the hell would you shoot John Lennon?
It's all those books, man.
It's all
The books are telling us to do bad stuff, man.
It was Catcher in the Rye. That was
Catcher
the
in the
book. He was carrying Catcher in the Rye when he shot John Lennon.
You said that's like your favorite book, though, right?
Oh, it is my favorite book of all time.
Did you have any weird impulses after reading Catcher
Hell
in the Rye?
no.
You didn't go reach for your Magnum and go try to hunt down John Lennon?
I think I'll go shoot someone.
You know the show South Park?
Oh yeah, I love South Park.
They did a whole episode where they like write a book, but then they get assigned in class Catcher in the Rye, and so they get through it, and the teachers hype it up as like it's a very controversial book and blah blah blah. And the kids read through, they're like, "This sucks." Like I was waiting, like there's never a good part.
It's not controversial at all.
But it cuts to one kid who's very impressionable, and he gets done with the last page, closes the book, and then he just like his eyes glaze over, and he's like, "Kill John Lennon, kill John Lennon." And his dad's like,
"That's terrible."
He's been dead for 30 years. Don't worry about it. He's like, "Oh, okay."
1980, right?
Yeah, something like that.
December 8th, I think, 1980. And who announced that he died?
Howard Cosell.
You got it.
On Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football. Howard Cosell here to tell you that John Lennon has been killed. I'll never forget it.
And he's been interviewed about that experience, and because he was obviously everybody loved the Beatles, and he was like, it's one of the most profound moments, and he's a historically great personality. But yeah, he's this is something I'll never forget of them telling me like you have to alert the nation in the world that the Beatles stars died.
Do you have a few of those moments that like ring out in your guys' memory? Because two of them do for me. One of them is when it's actually I think the same instance. Saddam Hussein being killed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. First off, weirdly, John Cena comes out on Monday Night Raw and delivers I have the pleasure to announce that the U.S. has captured and permanently compromised Saddam Hussein. And then the place goes berserk.
Really?
But then it's a game between like the Mets. It was a Subway Series game, I want to say, between the Mets and the Yankees. And they're at City Park at the old like Shea Stadium in New York. And you could just suddenly on the broadcast, like roar, like it's in the middle of the inning, nothing good is happening. It's like a 7-0 game. The Mets are getting their butts kicked or something like that. And all of a sudden the crowd just starts roaring, standing applause, and everybody you could hear like USA, USA. And then they announce it, but the word was getting through because this is like when phones were still, you're still getting those messages, but it's delayed. Mm-hmm. But everybody's slowly learning in the stadium that that we got him. So eventually they announce it and they put it on the jumbotron. The place just goes nuts, just bedlam.
Did they even know who he was?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I feel like
by the time we like captured and killed him or whatever, everybody knew who Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein.
Yeah. I think I messed up. I meant Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, when SEAL Team 6.
Osama bin Laden, you're talking about. Okay,
that's my fault. I misspoke.
Yeah, no problem. Well, we're used to it by now. After a couple of months.
I'm sure some people out there listening are like, "What the hell is this guy talking
about?
This
guy's still there. What's he doing?"
But for a while, I bet most people just Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, tomato, their first cousins hanging out.
Could be.
Yeah,
could be. Didn't one of his kids get killed too? Saddam Hussein's.
It feels like we went through their entire family tree and picked them all up and detained them. Yeah.
Oh, the one thing that I have had literally people walk up to me and go, Tom, I think you should stay away from politics because people are sick to death of hearing about it.
It's sick to death, and it never gets any better.
No, and that's the whole problem.
There's a Virginia lady that she was in the news now because she had some pornographic live stream where she was getting money to do specific things to her husband online, and so it's all a mess. No matter where you turn.
That was a politician.
Yeah, I think I
really.
Up here.
So she was getting paid to play the trumpet, or what was the deal?
Apparently, yeah. Where is her name here? One of the Virginia legislative candidates, Susanna Gibson. Yeah, her and her husband made a little video for the people online, and we're taking suggestions for what people wanted to see for some money.
So I have a question for you. So now I can't talk about politics. I don't really want to talk about politics anyway. I don't give a rat's ass. I think they're both nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I can't tease people about their race. What am I supposed to talk about?
Well, we could talk about the fact that Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves
won
phenomenal.
I was
at the game yesterday.
You ever work
I do not.
I'm at the movie. I'm at the Twins game.
Well, you were there schmoozing it up with Judd, right?
I was there. I did not see Judd, but I should have found him. But the highlight of my day, they bring out the big T-shirt cannon.
Oh,
you got the cannon?
I caught a T-shirt from the T-shirt.
You got
cannon.
the T-shirt.
I mossed somebody in the front. That was in front of me to
Oh, did you?
It was a 7-year-old girl though, right?
Well, you know what?
Her, you know.
I've pushed younger kids for
a full Zach Hampel on it. Yeah,
exactly.
It was a shock. Well, congratulations, T-shirt catcher.
Yeah, thank you.
It's true.
I'm an athlete.
Oh God. Okay, we got to move on. The Eagles are at XL Energy Center on their farewell time. An athlete because they caught a T-shirt. Okay. The Eagles are at XL Energy Center on their farewell tour on Saturday, November 18th, and you can see them with me in my suite. Catherine will be there. To enter, just go to the Tom Barnard app or the website at tombarnardshow.com. Listen for your name to be announced each day at 8:10, 9:10, and 10:10. Email us back at midnight, by midnight, I should say, at contest@tombarnardshow.com, and you win. Today, qualifier, name for the Eagles with me in suite is John O'Byrne of Richmond, Minnesota. It's John O'Byrne. Email us by midnight tonight at contest@tombarnardshow.com. Congratulations to Monday's winner, Todd O'Connor. So we got John O'Byrne, Todd O'Connor, a lot of Catholics lining up to win it. That's all I'm saying. I'm bringing in my people. I haven't been to Catholic church in about 55 years, by the way, so I should maybe stop saying
Right, you're going to burst into flames.
I might. It might happen. In any case, congratulations to Monday's winner, Todd O'Connor, who emailed us back. He and a guest will join me in my suite to see the Eagles on November 18th. John O'Byrne of Richmond, Minnesota. Call us by midnight tonight, and you'll be there with us. And with us now, ladies and gentlemen, the lovely and talented Judd Zolgad.
How we all doing?
Marvelously well. We're already laughing it up over things like how nuts people have gotten. We were just talking about the fact that if I can't, because I don't want to talk about politics anymore. I am so sick of this stuff. I can't take it anymore. I tried to do the reporting that you're supposed to. I mean, it's the lead story in every newspaper, on television. So you try to stick with the news, but it's always about how some politician is a dirtbag.
Mm-hmm.
So forget it. But the one that I'm upset with, I can no longer attack Kevin for his skin color.
Well, that's been for a while, right? I feel like that predates the politician, the back off the politics because nobody cares.
Because nobody cares. No, you know what? That's a good way to put it, Judd. Look how he's trying to steer me away from that. Actually, making fun of your skin color comment.
Judd was like, "How can I distance myself from the?"
Actually, no, I'm serious. I thought that goes back farther back as a don't do than the politics thing.
A long time ago, Tom. You'd have to go. Well, I haven't been doing much reading lately, so But going back to what you were saying, I like everyone else. I can't even watch. I tried this morning because I always watch Channel 5 News. And then they're off the air at 7 o'clock, I think, is when they drop off. Yeah, they're on from 6:30 to 7, I think, is their last newscast for a while. Then it goes to national news.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's right. So I was just watching it this morning. The national news came because I take a walk in our there's a little walking thing that I have in our basement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking, and the national news comes on, and that's all they talk about is, yes, there's a war going on, but it was caused by these politicians on the other side. I'm like, oh, God. So, you don't want to do that. I've had enough of that anyway. I thought it was my job as the host of a show to stay with the day's headlines. But every day the headlines are right now, it's all political.
Right.
Every headline I'm looking at right now is all political because people can't stop fighting over it and, all the rest of it. But I mean, honest to God, you can't make fun of anybody anymore. But
well, that's a whole different thing, but that's absolutely true. Yeah. Making fun of people, the world being your own personal roast of society has become very difficult to do. You get in trouble for everything now, I feel like. So, but the politics thing is, I just think we've gotten to the point where I hate to say it's boring because it's important, but it's boring.
It is boring
because you're not going to change anyone's mind. There's the two. I've always said this. The two things that I think are boring to talk about because you're going to change no one's mind are politics and religion. because you're just going to fight, go around in circles.
Yeah.
That's why I love sports, because you can get into huge heated debates about sports and it doesn't really matter.
I tell you, you're absolutely right. No, and you're absolutely right about that. The only time I ever pray anymore is I followed the lead of my oldest brother, Terry. When we, again, we grew up, and again, I was never a very religious person anyway. Hey, look, I believe there's got to be a greater thing than me. There's no doubt about it. There better be, I'll tell you that.
I've always felt the same way about myself. Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. We're all in big trouble if we're it.
That would be bad news, man. But my father, and I'll never forget, my mother got so upset. My brother Terry sits down at the Thanksgiving table, making the sign of the cross as Catholics do.
Yeah.
And he goes, in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, who's ever the fastest gets the most. She did not see any humor in that at all.
Oh, are you kidding? Oh my God. No, that's great.
That's a legendary deal, I think.
I love that one. Oh, come on, Mom.
See, the great thing it is, if there is a God, and I think there's some form of a greater good, shorten it to God, good, whatever word you want to use, there has to be something better than this, right? I hope anyway. What do you think?
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, I think, and again, if we are the be all and end all, we're all in huge trouble, because that's the one thing that I think we prove on a daily basis. When you're as flawed as we are, and as a society, if this is like eternity, oh boy, I don't like that. I don't like our chances.
You think if I did show up at the pearly gates to get into heaven, that God would come and go, you were in radio for 53 years, get out? You think?
No, I think God would say, listen, Tom, I gave you this voice. It's unbelievable. Why don't you host a show up here?
I'd be hosting a morning show in heaven.
You'd be hosting a morning show in heaven.
I thought that's what I was doing right here. Isn't this heaven?
Well, I mean, it's just public address announcements. Like, if you drive the white Cadillac, please move your car. You're in a tow zone.
You getting in is dependent on, have you called the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ a candy ass or Tits McGee recently? Because
that's Kevin McHale.
Just Kevin McHale. Okay. So you should be good then to get in.
I think I'm probably good to get in. I've never killed anyone, although I'm thinking about killing somebody before I die. Maybe I should kill someone. What do you think?
Disclaimer: Tom Barnard is not going to kill anybody.
Yeah.
Additional disclaimer: as long as it's not one of us.
Yes.
Yes, well. Exactly.
Here's the thing, Tom. You would hire someone at this point in time, like I think you'd hire a guy.
Probably. That's probably true.
To knock off a guy.
To hire a guy to knock off a guy.
Yeah. Like, I mean, wouldn't it be more, more fun to like set up the hit, like at Murray's in a booth, like the Mafia?
I was just gonna say, you'd be at some Italian restaurant sitting in the back booth, like, yep.
Tommy B sends his regards.
Yeah. Here's what I need from you.
I was talking to a guy yesterday, told me that I still love the fact that Marlon Brando invented that voice for The Godfather.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And my favorite thing about that movie is at the very beginning when the guy's there begging him to go after his neighbor because his neighbor's trying to screw him out of his business or something. Mm-hmm. And he goes, don't use anybody from our district. Tell you, use a Jew congressman from the next door. He calls him a Jew congressman. It's like, that's real nice. Way to go, Marlon. The Godfather, I still believe the greatest movie ever made.
It is fantastic.
I mean, you're not going to get any pushback with that.
God,
that's
what a
pretty
great
safe
movie.
pick.
The whole thing was terrific. And what I really liked, he's downstairs and he's working with Robert Duvall and Al Pacino sitting out there in his U.S. Army outfit. And, of course, James Caan is upstairs banging the neighbor.
What a cast, though.
At his sister's wedding.
What an unbelievable cast.
No, it was amazing. It was unbelievable. All right, we have to focus on some sports here. Is there anything to talk about?
Well, yeah, as Tevin just said, last night at Target Center, the roof basically came off the place. This is not a surprise, and it's not new news, but Anthony Edwards again last night with 38 points and unbelievable defense between him and Jaden McDaniels and Gobert. And on a night where one of their supposed stars, Karl Anthony Towns, did absolutely nothing. The Timberwolves beat none other than Tom Barnard, your Celtics, your former favorite team.
Man, that was
wearing their green. Thank you, Lord. You know why? NBA teams have like 27 jerseys now, right? They've got different combinations, blah, blah, blah. And I went to that game last night, and as I walked in the door, I said, they better be wearing their damn green, because there's some jerseys you don't mess with. The Celtics, if they had been wearing like some type of all black or something, no, they were wearing their green. It was glorious.
Was Mikhail at the game last night?
I don't think so. I don't know what, where is he these days?
I haven't seen him in years.
He disappeared off the map.
He kind of did. I don't know what, well, he's not the easiest guy to get along with. I will tell you that. I mean, look, I adored Kevin McHale as a player. I thought he was supremely talented, just really, really good, but not a big joke taker. Well, let me put it that way.
Well, how's a guy who was such a great quote and would dispense crap at a moment's notice and was good at it? How is a guy like that so thin-skinned?
I don't know. I'll never understand as long as I live. But
he played in Boston.
Yeah, he played in Boston. What the hell? I mean, how bad can it get?
Exactly.
The team was phenomenal. Yeah, I played with Larry Bird, Robert Parrish. Boy, does that suck. I mean, come on, man.
What an unbelievable team.
But Kevin, if you're listening, I miss you, Buster. Especially the last time I ever saw him when you threatened me. I really miss that.
Wait, do we know the story?
Oh, whatever. I tell you that one? I ran into him in the locker at Spring Hill, and he was not happy with Uncle Tommy, I'll tell you that. And I still went, whatever. What are you going to do, hit me? I mean, give me a break. Yeah, it was not, it was unfortunate because, like I said, I still am, as far as basketball is concerned, a huge Kevin McHale fan. I thought he was magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently so did he.
Well, yes, he definitely did. And he definitely was thin-skinned. But anyway, so the Timberwolves won. That was fun. The Vikings won on Sunday. The Gopher football team collapsed, which is what they do. It was a pretty fun weekend, actually.
That loss, PJ Fleck should be fired for losing that game.
I mean, he's an awful game coach.
Terrible.
And he's oblivious.
And he's
oblivious to it. He has no idea, but he is a terrible game coach.
He is. He's terrible. How do you if you're the defensive backs, and again, first, what I would have done is put 3 guys on the line and 8 guys in a line at about the 20-yard line and say, you ain't getting past us. I don't care where you catch the ball, what you do, you're not getting past us. Right?
Well, yeah, and where's the safety?
Yeah, well, I mean, he was over.
Where's the one guy? Where's the one like that play? That play literally looked like they just simply forgot what they were doing, what the situation was.
Yeah.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah, they look exactly like they forgot how much time was left. They have one job. That's literally one. Make sure nobody gets behind you. I don't care what they do in front of you. You stand as far back as it takes to make sure you don't get beat for 6. I
agree.
And they couldn't do it.
Was that 4th down? Am I remembering that wrong?
No, I don't think it was 4th down because what you're remembering is I believe they converted a 4th and 11 shortly before that because the Gophers had them. The game was done if they got that stop.
Yeah, well, I think the first play that the backup quarterback came in was 4th down, and he converted that. And
that's it.
Went 2 for 2, I guess. After that for the touchdown.
Okay, but I still don't understand. You got one job. Don't let him get behind you. That's your only job.
And like Tevin just said, the backup quarterback had to come in. Your life should get technically easier.
You'd hope.
Yep.
Thank God for sports because average hunyucks like us can sit around and bitch about these multi-millionaire players and how much we hate them.
Oh, that's my favorite is when you especially scroll through the comment sections after like a Vikings game and Kirk will throw a ball that was 1 inch off to the left after he just avoided 300-pound linemen and people are like, worst athlete ever. Like, this is just terrible. Like, okay, sir. Like, Mr. Beer Belly and Cheeto Dust Fingers.
Oh, my goodness.
Ooh, yeah. Did you hear that?
I love it, though. I love Cheeto Fingers.
And, what's wrong with a beer gut.
Nothing wrong with it, but it's
You
just
know?
funny to hear, the average folk like myself complain.
You know the only problem I got about that?
Mm-hmm.
It really sucks if you got a beer belly and you don't drink. That sucks. I mean, what's that?
That's where you call MN Fat Loss and they help you out. Yeah.
That's right. Give them a call today, ladies.
That's called your 50s and 60s, I think,
that's
right?
true.
And 70s. That's what that's called.
Jesus. Unbelievable. So I don't know. It's the Vikings. I didn't think they were going to be as, can I say they're good? I can't even say they're good.
You could say they're good.
Can you?
Yeah, they're good. They're just not great.
Yeah, that's a good way
We're
to
good
put
enough
it.
to beat the Falcons and teams like that.
Well,
But when we play better teams, we probably need somebody a little bit better than Josh Dobbs.
I would go with that.
what are you talking about? He's a hero this week in town. His jerseys are already printed and for sale. I'm sure you can buy one for $150 right now, Tevin. So
Right. Everybody's talking about him. Like I must have missed something during the game, but I didn't realize Fran Tarkenton came back and all of a sudden was leading us.
He's the pastronaut. He's Dobby the quarterbacking elf.
And
He's
Dobbs is fine, but he threw for 156 yards.
people are
And
shaving
people
their
are
eyebrows
acting
over
like
this
he
guy,
just
Tevin. What are you talking
threw
about?
for 306 touchdowns.
cold bucket of water from Tevin. What's going on here?
Like we got to just keep things in perspective, people.
What fun is that?
You do. You're absolutely right.
What fun is perspective, gentlemen? That's my
What fun. Yeah, unless
Since
you're
when
a
is-
judge.
Put it on a shirt.
This is the media. Since when are we supposed to keep perspective?
Honest to God, what are you going to do? You know, one thing I do have to throw in here, because one of my all-time heroes, I loved what this guy did, died yesterday. Judge Harry Crump died at 85 yesterday.
No kidding.
Yep. Judge Harry Crump. You probably don't know. Most people you guys' age would not know who he is. Judge Harry Crump saved the Twins from contraction. If it weren't for Harry Crump, that team wouldn't even exist anymore.
Really?
Yep. And Judge Harry Crump has
Wow.
died at 85 years old. We loved you, Harry. That's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah, he's I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was actually named this is in retrospect pretty funny. He was named the Star Tribune Sports Person of the Year for saving the Twins from contraction.
1998, baby.
That year, yeah. Oh my God. I did not realize he passed away.
He died yesterday, I believe. Big smile on his face in his picture. I'm looking at his picture right now. You know, I should tell you something.
I was just gonna say you're welcome.
No, I was just going to say he's better looking than you are.
Oh,
that's
I thought
all
you were
I
going to
was
say he's a black man in America today.
Well,
that
he
saved
is.
The, that
Well,
saved the
he
Twins.
was. He was.
Yes.
He's a black man in America today that saved the Twins.
Yep.
But I will never forget it, Judge. I adored that man from that day. I don't know what the hell I'd do without my Twins. I loved the Minnesota Twins. Oh, that would not have been good.
No.
Well, you would have avoided some pain in the playoffs, but yes, you're right. I'm glad that they were saved.
Harry, God bless you. I hope you're in. If there is a heaven, I hope Harry's there.
When he saved the Twins, were they actually in danger of
they were
leaving,
gone.
or was it like the Vikings where they just wanted a new stadium?
Judd, you answer that question, because my opinion is they were long gone if it wasn't for Judge Harry Crump.
So what baseball was trying to do was that they were trying to fold, so not move, but fold the Montreal Expos and the Twins. And that's the one where Carl Pohlad,
Right.
it turned out he volunteered the team for contraction.
He did.
Oh,
That's why I
That's-
didn't
that's
like
why-
it.
And even it was so bad, even Sid attacked him in print.
I know. That is amazing that Sid would attack him.
Act of God.
Yeah.
The most surprising thing I ever saw was Sid attacking Carl Pohlad. But Sid had no options left. The team was going to be contracted. And so
Yep.
he lit Carl up.
Good,
Wow.
and he should have, because it was
Yeah, he
all
did.
about money yet again. What a shock. Another thing all about money.
Well, I think it turned out that Carl had gone to Bud Selig and just offered it up and said, hey,
Yep.
you know, if you want to contract us, because at that point, Carl was at his wit's end on a stadium.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, too, you guys, they didn't get a stadium for, several years. So that didn't solve the problem. But yes, Harry Crump basically brought an end to any conversation. And then the following spring was 2000 and what was it? 2002. And the Twins got good again.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. So
So-
Harry,
Rest in
Everybody
peace.
I can raise this for one more time, by the way. Oh, there's a story behind this. I should tell you. I've been complaining to Catherine for about 2 months now that I can't sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night. She goes, starting tomorrow,
Yep.
you will have one caffeinated beverage a day, and that is it. So,
Oh my God.
You said yes, ma'am.
hey, you ever seen my wife? Of course I said yes, ma'am. You damn
Yeah,
right.
but then you're going to be going down to the basement and smuggling a ton of Diet Pepsi or
I
Coke.
can't do it. She's too good at it, man. She's way, way too good at it.
Oh, I couldn't do this. I couldn't do one caffeinated beverage a day.
Especially just starting today, just one. You're not going
gonna
to
be the
wean.
one.
You're not going to wean off of it. Like,
No.
hey, can I start this week with?
Yeah.
I'll do 3 a day, and
I know
we'll
what
do
you're
2 next
thinking,
week.
too.
Tomorrow's gonna be brutal.
No, that's
Withdrawals.
exactly what he was
Withdrawals.
thinking. You're absolutely right.
It better be a very, very large caffeinated drink, just a
But-
2-liter bottle. Please, Carrie.
And Bernard, it's 8:32 in the morning, and you've committed to the one caffeinated drink at 8:32. I mean,
2/3 of it left, man.
oh my God, that
One a
is-
day from now on. That's it.
Wow. All right.
Although I do a 5-hour energy when I get up, so that helps.
I think
Oh, yeah, yeah,
purpose
that's,
of-
yeah, yeah. You're completely defeating the purpose of
Yeah, but I mean,
what
if you
Catherine
do-
told you to do.
If I do that at 6 o'clock in the morning, you burn that off because I go for a 3-mile walk after I do that,
Okay.
so I burn it off.
that
What?
That reminds. When I was in high school, I had a very large offensive lineman friend that was trying to lose a little weight, and he came in and was drinking a Slim Fast, and then afterwards was eating some very unhealthy food, and we had to explain to him that the Slim Fast counts as your meal for the day. So the 5-hour energy that counts for
Well,
your
it's not that
caffeine
much
intake.
caffeine in it, is
Does
there?
Catherine know this?
I
What?
hope not.
That you mix in the an energy drink as well?
Well, not yet. She doesn't.
Okay. When she finds out, that's out. I'm
That's
going to
got
tell
me
you right
down,
now.
too. What if I
Yes.
get home today and they're all gone because they're sitting on the counter in my bathroom?
Well, you just announced on your show, and she probably heard it, so there's a very good chance.
She
No, it's in. I brush my teeth. Well, actually, I drink that and then I brush my teeth. That's what I do.
You're gonna get home and Catherine's just gonna be sitting there with the lamp off and turn around in like a
Yeah.
revolving chair. So you've been drinking 5-hour energy. So
You know, one thing I love about my wife, and I don't think you guys have. Tevin, you've been around long enough. You may know this, but my wife is a very sweet woman, beautiful woman, just really smart. I mean, she's my dream come true. There's no question about it. I get home last night. It's just like I'm watching a movie. She's on the phone with somebody who's pissing her off, and she goes like this. Let me tell you something. You keep this up, I'm going to come over there and tear you apart. You got it? I'm like, Jesus.
oh, there have been a few times
Oh,
where
you've seen it. haven't
she'll not full out angry because she still wants. Okay, I'm out in public. I want to make sure I'm not unhinged. But where I'm like, I would never ever want to piss Catherine off.
you? Yeah, she can get a little angry,
Yep,
a little bohemian, little bow hunk action. And she's, almost 6 feet tall. So she's got that good arm. She's got that good.
Yeah, no, I'm scared of her. I'll be
You and
honest.
me both,
Rightfully
pal.
so.
All right, Judd. Oh, God, I suppose you better get going here, man. You got a big day.
Oh, big day. Big day. All right, guys. I will talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
Judd Zolgad, ladies and gentlemen, Score North. We'll take a break, be right back with the lovely and talented Chris Egert. Can I call him lovely?
I think so.
Okay, thank you. No, what do you think?
Oh, I would say yeah. He's definitely used to it.
Okay, good. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results well. I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security and investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. I'm Tom Barnard, and I'm a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Landon and Gavin Miller of D&B Plating.
I've always been impressed with their speed of answers to our questions, and that has allowed us to expand and capitalize on opportunities in the market.
North American Banking Company has never made us feel like a number. They've always treated us as a partner.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com or stop by any one of their Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. You all have helped support MyPillow and their employees in these tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows this and continues to give back to listeners with deals on his most popular products. You heard me recently speak about the My Slippers, the Giza Sheets, MyPillow 2.0, and more. Well, great news. The MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. The proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. The set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. Regular price is $79.98. And for a limited time, you can get this 6-pack towel set for only $39.99 with promo code TOM. That is a 50% savings. So go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to save 50% on the MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. That is just $39.99 for the set. This deal will not last long. Enter promo code TOM for this special.
For the Tom Barnard Show.
All right, so I've learned today that having one caffeine-loaded Diet Wild Cherry Pepsi a day is good, but then if you commit the sin of having a 5-hour energy before you have that, you've broken the rules.
Yeah, unless you do it Irish car bomb style and you drop your 5-hour energy into your glass.
Into the glass.
Yeah, then it's just one drink.
All right. What do you Chris Egert's laughing already about that. He's like, okay.
Dude, that sounds amazing. When I heard you guys talking about that last segment about Tom having to not be able to have caffeine, I like walked over to the cafeteria and I got a coffee. I'm like, oh my God. I would die. Like I would die immediately.
I know. Yeah, but I cannot sleep anymore. I got to do something about it. And I thought once I left the queue and didn't have to get up at 3:15 in the morning anymore that I'd sleep like a baby. It's much worse than it was. So
no kidding.
Even the fact that now I don't go to bed till 10 o'clock. So, 10:30, somewhere in there. But I think she's right. The fact that I've been working a lot of 12, 14-hour days, talking to advertisers and this and that and talking to the company and, being annoyed by Dan and Amy. You know what I'm saying. But he makes a face. I love that. But no, so I promised her I'll have one Diet Pepsi with caffeine a day. It's going to be tough, man. God, shoulder to the wheel.
They say though, once you get over like the first couple weeks on the and you're off the caffeine thing, like it's good, but the first couple weeks suck.
That's her deal. Cause you do realize what's 2 weeks from Thursday, Thanksgiving. So there's that 2-week period you're talking about.
Oh, so you'll be less crabby by Thanksgiving theoretically.
I'll be more crabby. Get away from me.
I need to figure out just how this impacts Tevin and I and AJ. I don't like what's probably going to happen in the short term with this. So I'm against this. Cutting back on caffeine.
Can you start this on Thanksgiving so that way when you're gone in Florida, then you
yeah, that's what I was thinking, Tevin. Good idea.
Going on vacation for 4 days, my Thanksgiving vacation, which we do every year, which we love. Ladies and gentlemen, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Chris Egert with us. I got the distinct pleasure this morning of watching Hannah do the reports. So that I started off my day taking a nice 3-mile walk and watching you and Hannah.
Hannah's the best.
Man, it's as good as, is she standing right next to you?
No, she's not.
You
She's
liar.
got cue cards up for what he needs to say.
Hannah is the best.
Hannah is the wait a minute, it's not Hannah.
Chris, blink twice if you're in trouble.
I don't know what you're talking about, AJ.
My favorite. I cannot tell you how many people on the streets came up and said, "You know who my new hero is?" I said, "Who?" Chris Egert. I said, "Why? Why is he your hero?" Because he's the first news anchor I've ever heard go, Jesus Christ. When you didn't know you were on the air. They loved it. They thought it was wonderful.
That is starting to happen with some regularity over on the TV too, which is not good because I think I told you a couple months ago we automated and randomly a mic will just pop up when it's not supposed to.
Oh no.
And I've been pushing it for a lot of years.
Good.
Because you can normally always tell when you knew there was if you were on or but this whole new thing, Matt Belanger was doing a live report from the newsroom and the automation pulled up my mic instead of his. So I was in the middle of talking about something. And so it came back from this soundbite and I'm like, bop, bop, bop. And then like, that was not supposed to go out over the air. Thank God it was nothing too controversial, but
well, it's better than that one guy on New Year's Eve where he's sitting behind the desk doing the news and decides, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to expose you to this, but pulls a gun and shoots himself in the head.
No, I
remember that?
Yeah.
Did you ever see it?
Yeah.
It ain't pretty.
No, it's
holy God. Shot himself right in the head on live television.
The live TV thing or an open mic has brought down many of people in our industry. And I gotta be aware of that because it's, yeah.
Well, they still have live mics. What's that woman that hates Trump out there in New York? She's the state's attorney or something, or city attorney, or what the hell's her name? She's the one that brought all the charges against Trump.
Letitia Davis.
Something. Did you hear what she said going up the stairs yesterday?
Mm-mm.
She made fun of the fact that I don't like the fact that he's so white. It's like, isn't that semi-racist to say something?
Yes.
Like, oh, you saw her do it?
No, I'm saying yes, it is semi-racist. Might not even be semi. It might be just full.
Why
racist.
do people think they can do that? I don't get it.
Well,
it reminds me when I was out. I think it was when I was in Seattle. I don't remember. There was a blooper from one of my old stations, and that it was when Hillary Clinton was, and before she was a presidential candidate, like when she was just a first lady, like way, way, way back in the day. And she was getting off of Air Force One, and for whatever reason, the news was covering it. And somebody had an open mic, and she comes down off the plane, and you can hear this in the background. Oh, here comes the old battle axe.
The old battle axe.
Which is like nothing compared to now. Like that wouldn't even be considered offensive in today's environment, but it's just pretty funny. So here comes the old battle axe.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
Yep.
So any big stories we should know about today?
Well, I did want to, I flagged this one because it's just further proof that nobody on the internet is who they say they are.
Right.
Okay. We should always know this. There's no such thing as AJ, when you're creeping on OnlyFans or whatever websites you're on and you're DMing.
Oh, that's a heavy accusation there, Chris.
And you're DMing that beautiful 29-year-old blonde gal who lives on the 15th floor of downtown Minneapolis apartment. That's probably not who's really on the other end.
These are heavy accusations while I'm looking at a news story here that says Minnesota television anchor botches viewer's last name live on video. And it's just a picture of you.
Really?
Yeah, so tread lightly, Chris.
Really?
Whose name did I botch?
I don't know. It's I'll do a little more research and see if I can find that out.
It was Tim Anderson. That's who it was.
So there was an Olmsted County detention deputy who basically means he works in prisons or one of the jails or something.
Correctional.
Yeah, correctional. So 44-year-old has been arrested after an undercover investigation because he was messaging with who he thought was a 13-year-old girl.
Yep.
And was going to provide this young lady with alcohol in exchange for various sex acts. And they picked a time to meet up in a place. And it turns out it was actually an undercover officer. And
yeah, baby.
He was also messaging with another agent who was posing as a 14-year-old girl. So it seemed like this guy was pretty much going to get in some kind of trouble either way.
You guys did a great job covering that story. I saw that story on your news this morning. It was a good job.
I'm just continually amazed that people seem to get hoodwinked when it comes to who's on the other end of a conversation when you're not seeing anyone there.
I'm going to ask you a question because it just made me think of that when I saw it this morning on your news.
Yeah.
That even when I was 13 and 14 years old, I was always attracted to the like high school seniors or college students. I like the girls like 5 years older than me.
Yeah, you didn't go reverse 35 years.
No, I did not go in reverse 35 years. What is that? Does anybody understand? Is that just a weak personality?
I think it's a power thing.
It's a power thing. Yeah, there you go.
I agree with Tevin. If I was a psychologist here, that's probably what I would say.
AJ, would you write down? Tevin had a good point.
Yeah.
It's November 7th.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Did you find the audio? Of-
Yes, Chris. This is gold. This is gold. So
I probably can't hear it, by the way, but
nope. Here, happy almost 1 year anniversary to this.
Should we talk about our grocery giveaway?
Absolutely.
Do you live in New Richmond, Wisconsin? Listen up, because you may have just won a $250 grocery gift card from 5 Eyewitness News if you do.
I know the name of the show is Minnesota Live, but we love everyone across the border too, just for the record. So congratulations this morning to Rhonda Suckett.
Rhonda Suckett.
This last name is spelled Suckut.
Well, it'd be a Suckett.
Didn't catch that one in the pre-read. So Rhonda won a $250 gift card.
That is amazing.
I didn't catch that in the pre-read.
Yeah, so it's Suckut or something like that.
You're right.
It's definitely not Suckett. And was that a year ago, AJ? I guess that would be about right.
Yeah, it says November 23rd, 2022. Oh, I will give you props because you tweeted that out yourself and said, "Hey, everybody, enjoy this blooper."
Because when it was, I leave to come back and I do the radio or I do the podcast. And so there's I will read 99% of the show before I come back here, but sometimes things get added late and that got added late and I didn't see the name. So that's why I even said it. I'm like, I guess I didn't catch that one in the pre-read because there was no pre-read. Like it was
right. And of course, the one time you don't catch the name, it's not Anderson and Johnson.
Yeah.
Suck it.
Just long pause. Rhonda. Yeah, suck it, Rhonda. I'm not saying your last name.
Even better because it came right after the pandering of like, yeah, we love our friends across the border. Hey, Rhonda.
Suck it, Rhonda.
Suck it.
Suck it. Oh, that's a brilliant way to end this segment is all I have to say.
That's great.
Good stuff.
All right, Chris Egert.
AJ, I did not mean to level any accusations against you.
No, you're fine. I'm an easy target.
I don't know what other kind of dirt you're going to find between now and tomorrow. So.
This is the last time Chris
I got a lot of time on my hands, Chris.
I'm never coming at you again, AJ. Lesson learned.
All right, Pally, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Could you play that one more time?
Yeah.
That was thank you for finding
I
that.
am crying right now.
Me too.
That is hilarious.
Should we talk about our grocery giveaway?
Absolutely.
Do you live in New Richmond, Wisconsin? Listen up, because you may have just won a $250 grocery gift card from 5 Eyewitness News if you do.
I know the name of the show is Minnesota Live, but we love everyone across the border too, just for the record. So congratulations this morning to Rhonda Suckett.
And he
didn't catch that one in the pre-read. So Rhonda won a $250 gift card in our grocery giveaway.
He gets
We've had more than 40,000 entries for this contest since it started a couple of weeks ago, and there is one more chance for you to win.
Yeah, just
You can
powers-
watch 5 Eyewitness News
just powers
tomorrow
through.
morning.
Just tremendous.
What, he gets halfway through
Suck it.
saying Rhonda, and you can tell his eyes have already seen the last name, and so he slows down saying Rhonda because he's scrambling to try and figure out how to say her
Oh
last name.
God,
My
that's
fa- my-
amazing.
My favorite part about it is I'm going to play it one more time. You can hear the camera people in the back and like the engineers and the producers are starting to laugh.
This morning to Rhonda.
Yep.
Suck it.
Like somebody dropped something.
Did you
just
catch
shot.
that one in the pre-read?
Didn't catch that one in the pre-read.
That was magnificent. Oh, that just made my day. I want you to know that you've made my day. I just noticed something I got to bring up here, that you people are unbelievable. I got happy birthday wishes from about 100 people. Jesus, there are a lot of men. This is unbelievable. You people are amazing. I'll just do like the top. I'll try to get to them all today if I possibly can. But I mean, they're happy birthday wishes from Peter Jordan. I've known Peter forever. Officer Dave, Mike and Susan, my neighbors, Dawn at My Pillow, my brother Tony. Oh, Cassie Schrader. Cassie, we miss you. Paul Lambert, who's a direct competitor. See, that's what I like. Paulie and I are very good friends, have been since he was 16 years old.
Sauce?
Sauce, yeah, meat
Yeah.
sauce. Meat Sauce used to work at a cigar bar back when I used to smoke cigars back in the day.
Really?
And he always said, "Hey, do you think I should get into radio?" And oh God, no, you're horrendous, terrible. Forget it. No, I said, no, you should. You should. So, Paulie, thank you for your birthday wishes.
Have you heard the story of how he got the name Meat Sauce?
No.
So I believe it was Timberwolves games or Vikings games, one of the two. When he first started getting into the press box, they would have dinner provided, and the buffet was spaghetti with red meat sauce. And I guess he just sat there the whole entire game and was like eating
The sauce?
ungodly amounts of spaghetti. And so they started calling him Meat Sauce.
I understand. Paulie Lambert, thank you, Meat Sauce. That's very nice. Kevin Osgard, Kendall Norberg, two of my oldest and dearest friends. Jeff Passolt, Michael Bryant. Man, it goes on and on and on. Tons of listeners.
Mhm.
Thomas Duma, by the way, he's been a long-time listener back to the Q and then this show now and all the rest of it. But Thomas, you've always been so kind to me, and thank you. It's just very nice, for all these people give a rat's ass. It's nice of you to care, right?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. I'll say it, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love working with Chris Egert because he's the most honest man in the news business. I mean, there are a few others,
He's not afraid to say Jesus Christ on air. He's not afraid to tell his
Yeah.
viewers to suck it.
Damn
Just
Rhonda.
one of a kind.
I'm gonna call Don Shelby and tell him just do it because he's not on the air anymore. Just scream it out your door. And then Frank Vassalero, I want you to turn to your co-anchor, who's his wife. Oh, he can't do that. Turn to your own wife on the set and say, "Hey, suck it." I don't think that's gonna work.
No, that'll get him in a little
not.
bit more hot water.
Maybe not.
No, plus she's a wonderful person anyway. You guys got to know Frankie a little bit, didn't you? He came in.
Yeah, he's come in here a couple of times
Yeah.
with his dogs.
We got to get him back on again. He's such a great guy.
I haven't had the opportunity to meet him ever.
He's just a really, really nice guy.
I hear nothing but good things though.
It's true. Well, yeah.
You got to listen a little harder. You'll find something.
He is
I'm sure.
Italian,
Yeah.
so there's got to be something.
I don't
wrong.
necessarily have my ear to the ground on that one, but
No, he is a great guy, though. We'll take a break. Be right back, ladies and gentlemen. That was one of my favorite hours in the history of this show.
Yes.
I didn't expect suck it.
Yeah, if we can get just the Rhonda suck it and didn't see that in the whatever press read or pre-read buttons, that'd be awesome.
Damn it, I'm choking to death here. All right, we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Tom here. I just read a success story from MM Fat Loss client Elizabeth, who just completed a program. Elizabeth writes, I am a 54-year-old woman who has struggled with losing weight. I had almost constant heartburn, trouble sleeping, brain fog. I tried counting calories, eating bars and shakes, and several other programs in which I would lose 5 to 10 pounds after months of struggling, only to gain it right back. After 60 days, of the MN Fat Loss program. I was down 25 pounds. MN Fat Loss had really empowered me to believe that I can control my eating and my weight without having to sacrifice foods that I like. Let me assure you that the short 60 days is totally worth it. If you're thinking about finally committing to improving your health, this is the time to start. You won't regret your investment in yourself. Great job, Elizabeth. I am so happy to hear about your success, and I'm being sincere about that. I love it when people are successful in things that I promote. Are you ready to lose weight and feel better? Go to mnfatloss.com and schedule a free phone consultation. It is so easy to see if MN Fat Loss is a good fit for you. They offer a free phone consultation to learn about the program. You don't have to take time off of work to get a babysitter for the kids. It's as easy as getting on a quick call with the expert staff. You can share your goals, learn about the program, and see if it is a good fit to help you lose weight and feel better. They also have virtual options to help you if you live far away, which is very smart. To schedule that free phone consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. The only thing you have to lose is that unwanted weight. That's www.mnfatloss.com. I cannot wait to hear about your success story.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombernardshow.com.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now. Stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I am so happy to welcome back our longtime friend, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many years. He and his lovely wife are good friends of Catherine and mine. I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because their service experts are experienced NATE certified technicians. They're not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need, when they need it, and at the fair price. Keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you, just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That's SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes. Just got a little note from a member of my family. I can't say who it is, but you might know. They said, I almost said she said, they said, yes, that 5-hour energy is really going to hurt after you cut out 13 of the 14 Diet Pepsis you had every day. Thank you. Thank you very much. I did go after it. I got to be honest with you. So that she guarantees that I'll sleep much better without all that caffeine coursing through my system.
Yeah, well, because it stays in your system probably a lot longer than you would anticipate.
Probably.
And then when it's that much caffeine, even cutting it in half, you'll probably feel a big difference.
Well, I cut it in 14ths.
Yeah.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What are you going to do? Right?
Right.
Whatever. Good for me. We got, my God, it's already 9 o'clock.
It's already 9.
That hour went by. It flew by. Just one guy saying, suck it. And that hour just burned. It was unbelievable.
Time flies when you're laughing at Chris Egert.
Egert's about as good as it gets, don't you think?
Yeah, it's always nice to see news personalities off their normal set and kind of just be themselves rather than the...
It's true. I'm not going to do the weather, but I am going to do the highs for this week because they're pretty amazing when you're talking about the second. Now, tomorrow starts the second week in November. Today, 46. Tomorrow, 54. Thursday, 45. Friday, 42. On Veterans Day. Saturday, a high of 43. Sunday, a high of 50. Monday, a high of 53. That's pretty amazing.
It's not bad.
No, for this time of year, it might as well be 80 and sunny. for what we're normally getting.
I agree with you, but they're going to bitch on the national news. Global warming.
Oh, it's always global warming until it's not. Once it's cold, then all of a sudden that all goes away until you get your record highs in the winter or in the summer.
And I'll tell you again, all of us here in America will stop using all the stuff you want to stop using as soon as you convince the people in the Eastern Hemisphere to stop it, because there are 7 billion people living over there. So,
Do you think over there they blame themselves for global warming as well?
No,
or is
they
it just
do not.
everybody blames America?
Oh, yeah, but America's to blame for everything.
Yeah.
Except for success. We don't get any of that.
Right.
But what the hell? I think we talked about this briefly yesterday, but have you guys heard that new Beatles song yet?
No,
I've heard snippets of it, but I didn't actually take the time to listen to the whole thing.
Why not, you turncoat? What do you mean, It's my favorite band when I was 11 years old, you pill.
Yeah, they're great. They're just not for me.
And the chicken tastes like wood. Is that what you like? Is that the plan?
This coming from the people that sang about living in a yellow submarine?
We all... Well, you might be right about that particular tune, but I never did understand that one myself. Like, why did you release that? And it's because Ringo sang it. Do you know that's why they did that?
Oh, okay. Is that just his one song they gave him to sing?
Octopus's Garden. That's another barn burner.
It's like the old Family Guy clip where it's like, you're being generous, and it's like the Beatles when Ringo would write a song, and they're like, "Hey guys, I wrote a song." He's like, "I'm gonna put this on the fridge, Ringo." We're really proud of you, man.
Ringo's such a nice guy. Oh yeah, there you go. Perry Lansing, happy birthday. Thank you, Perry. I keep getting the messages, ladies and gentlemen. You people have always been very, very, obviously, I suppose you can't really have a 53-year career on the air and podcasting unless people are nice.
No, somebody's got to like you if you're
somebody
does
able
to do it that long.
It's just not other radio people.
Which that's probably about right, because you're their competitor. So people mostly are.
Well, I meant the ones I worked with.
Oh yeah, that's yeah, that too. Some of them probably looked at you as their direct competitor anyway, even though they were on the show.
Did. What are you going to do? What the hell? It all works out in the end, right?
Right.
You know what I'm talking about. Any other big headlines that I've missed so far? I'm kind of looking through it, see what the deal is. Again, Judge Harry Crump, tip of the cap to you, sir. You saved my Minnesota Twins, and I'll never forget you. It's a wonderful thing, don't you think?
Yeah, not too many news stories as far as major headlines, but there are some that look interesting in your Tom's news stories.
Yeah, Tevin and I combed through the.
Oh, here we go.
The garbage disposal of headlines for the day, and
I don't think they should fire Brittany as a news story. Why? Which one you put that on here?
Ooh,
that was supposed to be a text message. That's my bad.
You know what I love about Brittany now? Because she's got a little baby, which is a tough job. She has to get up early. You could always tell when she hasn't slept because she sits like this the entire show.
Yeah.
Oh,
so you can see her nod off a little bit too.
Yep. There are moments where especially if it's a phone guest, where she's like, I'm gonna take this opportunity to just take a nap with my eyes open because Go-Go was probably up crying all night.
It's gotta be tough. Ooh, do redheads, did you put this in here because of Catherine?
No, I did not.
Do redheads experience pain differently? So you put it in here.
I was unaware that Catherine was a redhead.
Well, she's kind of a blondish redhead. You're right.
Gotcha.
She doesn't have that bright red hair.
It's like that strawberry blonde type.
Yeah,
thing,
strawberry
right?
blonde more than redhead. Yeah, you're right about that. That's her natural hair color anyway. Do redheads experience pain differently than others? Do you think they do? Because, AJ knows, you and I don't know.
I don't. I would assume this article is going to say they do, but I would be curious as to their reasoning behind why.
We're going to find out right now.
Let's do it.
Redheads are said to experience pain differently than other people and require higher doses of pain medications depending on drugs used. Why is that? Do you have any reason why it would be? It has to do, obviously, something with their skin sensitivity. It has nothing to do with their hair color, but it has to do with their skin sensitivity. Why is that different in redheads? Do you know?
I would say probably more so a lack of melatonin in the skin, right?
Is that what it is?
Not melatonin,
melanin.
There we go.
Melatonin
helps you go to sleep. Yeah,
there you go.
Tomato. Melanin. In the skin.
Know what? That's why I haven't been able to sleep. I've been eating.
You've been eating melanin.
a handful of melanin every night. Damn it.
Some watermelon in, some musk melanin. Yeah.
All right. You may have heard that from the dental chair to the labor and delivery room. Things hurt worse for redheads, but do redheads really experience pain differently than other people? Anecdotal reports from anesthesiologists and various animal and human studies suggest that having red hair is associated with an altered sensitivity to both pain itself and to pain relieving medications, according to a 2023 review in the journal Anesthesiology and Perioperative Science. However, the details of how redheads' pain experience remain somewhat fuzzy, partially because of past studies that have all investigated different forms of pain. Review co-author Jadeep Pandit, a consultant anesthesiologist at the Oxford University Hospitals NHS Foundation Trust, told Live Science. Is it Live Science, though, isn't it? It's not Live Science, it's Live Science.
Live Science,
Yeah.
I thought so. Once I said it, I should have seen that in the pre-read, except for I don't do pre-reads, but other than that. But he said I did. Nobody said I should have seen.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't catch that in the pre-read.
Come tomorrow, that'll be on the button bar for us to use every day.
Oh, thank God. Suck it. He kind of delivered it as an insult, too.
Yeah.
It was pretty good, actually. So in any case, studies do suggest that redheads they are more sensitive to certain types of pain, but not others. One study found redheaded women were more sensitive to temperature-related pain, and that the nerve blocker lidocaine was less effective in managing their pain than that of dark-haired women. Another study found that the redheads were less sensitive to pain from electric shocks than other people. I'm going to try that out today. Catherine.
Yeah. Great. Catherine, does this hurt? How about now? How about now?
How about if I turn her up a notch? What do you think? Yeah, I don't know. She's never mentioned that to me, that she's more sensitive to pain or not. That's never come up.
And well, it's not like she would have anything else to compare it to. She
That's
just
true.
is
That's a good point.
Yeah. It was always like when people would come up to me as a little kid and be like, do you feel hotter under the sun than I do? Because you're black. And it's like, I don't know what it feels like to be in the sun when I'm white. Like, I don't know.
They said, do you feel hotter under the sun because you're always wearing a jacket? That's what actually they said. He just made up this racial part of it to cause trouble.
Yes, I was wearing my hooded sweatshirts in the middle of the summer.
Yeah. 92 degrees. And it's all true. Florida mom says American Airlines put her kid in airport jail.
This story's kind of crazy, actually.
I would imagine that the headline's crazy. Florida mom says American Airlines misplaced her kids and put them in jail-like room overnight without food or water after their flight got canceled when the boys were traveling alone. God, why would they even think of doing something like that? Do you believe this? I don't know.
Well, I guess I wasn't a kid, but the first time I traveled alone probably wasn't until I was like 16 years old or something. And that was like, my mom was still at the airport with me, watching me get on the plane. And on the phone with my dad, like, you better have somebody there at the airport by the time he gets there.
Well, where's your dad live?
I was flying to I think I flew into Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, Baton Rouge?
Yep.
Okay. There you have it. I like Baton Rouge, by the way.
Oh, I lived there for a summer, and it was the best time of my life.
It's great. Yeah, Baton Rouge is a great town. American Airlines officials told TED the flight was delayed, eventually canceled. The airline was forced to cancel Vencil. It's Ted Vencil is the kid's name. Oh, here, let me start from the very top. A Florida mother's filing a lawsuit against American Airlines after she claims the airline lost her 2 children. They lost her. They didn't lose her 2 children. After putting them in a room overnight that was similar to a jail cell. Well, I have a question.
Yeah, fire away.
How can it be similar to a jail cell if it doesn't have bars on it?
Right. And they didn't, like you said, they didn't lose the kids.
No,
they just didn't tell the mother where they were, or she talked to an employee that really didn't know where the kids were. So she just was talking to the wrong person.
Ma'am, I clean the bathrooms. I don't know where your child is.
Right.
Yeah.
And the, quote unquote jail cell they were in was probably a room like this with some fluorescent lights where they were just like, hey, we got to figure out what these kids are doing traveling by themselves.
Probably like a detaining for like when you screen passengers that maybe like are a flight risk or something, like a room like that. This is not a Hilton. This is not a Holiday Inn, miss. There's no bed and a TV and amenities. Like, what do you expect?
And also the kids were 12 and 10 years old. So that raises some suspicion. Like, what is a 10-year-old doing by himself? Let's make sure they're okay before we just shuffle them along. So
absolutely.
I'm on the side of the
Well, again, you have to remember
right now.
they let those two kids wander around. They're responsible for whatever happened to those kids.
Right.
So they did the right thing.
Right.
But she doesn't see it that way.
No.
Okay. Amber Vensil alleges that her 12 and 10-year-old son were left without food, water, blankets, or pillows after the flight was canceled. The boys, who have only been named as JV and RV, were using American Airlines unaccompanied minor service on July 30th, 2022. They were scheduled to take a flight from Missouri to upstate New York, where Vensil's partner was scheduled to pick them up following a layover in Charlotte, North Carolina. The boys, who have only been named as JV and RV, were using American Airlines unaccompanied minor service. They were scheduled to take a flight from Missouri to upstate New York, where Vensil's partner was scheduled to pick them up, as we said. The flight was delayed, however, eventually canceled. The airline was forced to call Vensil's partner, who has been identified as Ted. American Airlines officials told Ted, according to the suit, that Vensil's sons would be in a nice room for unaccompanied minors, where there were beds and their own bathroom. Shortly after, American emailed Vensil at 11:40 p.m. on July 30th, telling her that the kids were scheduled to fly at 5 p.m. the next day, according to Insider. The conflicting information left Vensil with no idea what flight her children would be on. Well, if you look and there's a flight from that town at 5 o'clock, I would assume they'd be on that one, since they said they'd be on the 5 o'clock flight.
Yeah. It sounds like there was a flight that got delayed or canceled, and American Airlines doesn't really have an effective system in place to make sure that every kid that is unaccompanied was taken care of, but also maybe just a little bit of an overprotective mother as well.
I would like to know also, is there any proof that this is true, that they didn't have a bed to sleep in or a bathroom? I mean, how do we know they're just making that up?
That's you're going off the word of a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old. Maybe it was in a different room and they just didn't explore.
They may be.
It's like, hey, the guy that dropped them was like, all right, guys, my shift is over here now. I'm no longer your guardian for the night.
Right.
There's a bathroom and a bed through that little door right there if you want to go to sleep or whatever. And then he just left. And then they were like, all right, we're just going to sit in this room here now and not go anywhere.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Were they locked in the room? Because that would make a difference. Because normally if I'm at an airport, my flight got delayed or canceled, and I'm hungry, I just walk down to whatever thing, get some food,
pay an insane amount of money.
Right.
But,
And then you go back to whatever room you're staying in for the hotel or for the flight. But maybe the kids just sat there because they didn't know they could leave.
You know what
that's
I'm
why
going
they
to do?
didn't eat.
Based on this story, I'm going to shut your door and this door. So when anybody walks into this office, they'll go, there aren't any studios in here.
Yes. This is just a room with a water cooler.
Exactly. That's all it is.
Tom Barnard locked us in the studio. He didn't give us any snacks. There weren't any beds in here.
Unbelievable. You know what else happened? There it is. A phone number American Airlines provided was no use, and she spent hours unable to get in touch with her children until an employee at Charlotte's Douglas International Airport connected her to one of her kids. The son then rattled off the horrifying details. So it's the 10-year-old that's telling, then you know what else happened?
There's a line in here where it goes, the room was akin to a jail cell that was freezing cold, and they were forced to try and sleep on a sofa with the lights on. There is a light switch on the wall that you can flick up or down.
And they said there were no beds. I've slept on a couch before. That's a bed.
Oh, yeah, as a kid, I've slept in many situations that were not ideal. Floors, sofas, you name it.
Using the word horrifying for horrifying details is an indication they're going to sue them.
Oh, I think they already did.
Oh, they did sue them already?
Yeah, that's why this is a story in the first place.
Oh, because that must have been at the very top, because I'm fascinated by this story, because these little kids were making it up as they went along.
Yeah, it says they're filing a lawsuit.
Yeah, filing a lawsuit. You're right. It's the first line of the story. Yeah. They are filing a lawsuit. Now, what are they going to sue them for, and how are they going to prove that the kids didn't have a good place to sleep if they did have a place to sleep on the couch? I really kind of doubt that an airline would leave a 12 and 10-year-old unguarded. I don't know that would happen. What do you think?
Right, especially if they're a part of the unaccompanied minors program. So they're
right.
Like they're not good. The last thing they want is now all of a sudden a service that everybody uses for the most, or not everybody uses, but a lot of people will use. If they lost a kid, that's worse than putting them in this quote unquote jail cell.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Probably nothing to see here.
This is like everything else. Everything, and I mean everything now, is about money. It's just getting really disgusting. I don't care what you're doing, where you're going, what you're up to. It's always about money.
And it feels like the article went above and beyond. It was a horrifying situation.
Horrifying,
a jail
I say.
cell. Like you could just say,
I know.
hey, they put him in some dingy broom closet. I'd be more likely to believe your story and sympathize with you instead of you trying to use shock and awe to get
There was blood on the walls.
Right. Like it was,
walls, man.
you thought they were locked up in some foreign third country prison cell.
All right, we got to take a break here in a couple of minutes. The Eagles are at XL Energy Center on their farewell tour on Saturday, November 18th. You can see them with me in my suite. To want to just go to Tom Barnard app or the website at tombernardshow.com. Listen for your name to be announced each day at 8:10, 9:10, and 10:10. Email us back by midnight at contest@tombernardshow.com and you will win. That's 8:10, 9:10, and 10:10. Today's qualifier for the See the Eagles with me in my suite is John O'Byrne of Richmond, Minnesota. That's John O'Byrne. Email us by midnight tonight at contest@tombernardshow.com. By the way, congratulations to Monday's winner, Todd O'Connor, who emailed us back. He and his guest will join me in my suite to see the Eagles on November 18th. John O'Byrne of Richmond, Minnesota. Email us by midnight tonight at contest@tombernardshow.com, and we'll see you in the suite. Coming up on the 18th?
18th.
It is the 18th. We shall take a break. Be right back. Kenneth Womack will join us, living the Beatles legend, the untold story of Mal Evans. Now, I've never heard of Mal Evans, and I worked at Capitol Records.
I can't wait to hear about it for the first time.
So it ought to be interesting. We shall be right back.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live at tombernardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now. Stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Tom here, and I just read a success story from MN Fat Loss client Elizabeth, who just completed the program. Elizabeth writes, I'm a 54-year-old woman who has struggled with losing weight. I had almost constant heartburn, trouble sleeping, brain fog. I tried counting calories, eating bars and shakes, and several other programs in which I would lose 5 to 10 pounds after months of struggling. After 60 days of the MN Fat Loss program, I was down 25 pounds. MN Fat Loss had really empowered me to believe that I can control my eating and my weight without having to sacrifice foods that I like. If you're thinking about finally committing to improving your health, this is the time to start. You won't regret your investment in yourself. It's so easy to see if MN Fat Loss is a good fit for you. They offer a free phone consultation to learn about the program. They also have virtual options to help you if you live far away, which I think is a brilliant idea. To schedule that free phone consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. The only thing you have to lose is that unwanted weight. That's www.mnfatloss.com. I cannot wait to hear about your success story. And please let them know that Tom sent you.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to Me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw and Bryant, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bielke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
If you'd like to find out more about growing your business with the Tom Barnard Show, go to tombarnardshow.com, keyword partner.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Very special guest joining us. Malcolm Evans, the Beatles' longtime roadie, personal assistant, and devoted friend, was an invaluable member of the band's inner circle, but his life and untimely death have always been shrouded in mystery. Kenneth Womack is here to talk with us about it. As a matter of fact, the Living the Beatles legend, the untold story of Mal Evans' release date will be a week from today, as a matter of fact. Kenneth, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. And it's interesting to be able to talk to you in the same week in which we've been revisited by Beatlemania.
We have been revisited by Beatlemania. And one thing, Kenneth, I love is I actually worked at Capitol Records from 1977 to 1982, and I don't know the Mal Evans story. This is fascinating. I thought I knew everything about it.
I bet you I talked to several of your colleagues who worked there during that period, because, of course, Mal would come quite regularly out to the Capitol Tower and check in with the folks on various floors. One time he actually brought the Beatles with him, the three that he was working with, of course. And at the time, and people were pretty blown away when they started walking the floors.
I would imagine that's probably, well, that building is legendary. And I know you only have 7 minutes, so I'm not going to take up a lot of time, but Studio A in the Capitol Records Tower, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, the Beatles. I mean, you go down the list of people that have been in that room, you would be overwhelmed. It's a beautiful area.
Amazing. And being renovated now, I understand.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They're going in and spiffing it up so it has a long future.
So what is the story? The untimely death has always been shrouded in mystery. What's that all about, Kenneth?
Well, Mal was, this essential cog in the Beatles machine. He was probably spent more hours with them than anyone, and saw them through all those world tours and the studio years. He was essential. Everybody needs a Mal, a guy who's your fixer, who can help you get things done, and that was his role. To make sure that the Beatles had everything they need so that they could go out and do all that great work that clearly is still resounding this week. And, that was his job. So, but what did happen is Mal sort of left the story early in January 1976. He was killed by the LA police. And that's what created this kind of shroud of mystery about him. And we're only just now understanding what really happened. It also occasioned the loss of all of the materials that he'd collected over the years, which, thanks to an enterprising temporary worker, were saved in 1988 from the trash heap. And so, thanks to those materials, I was able to finally tell Mal's story.
What a story it is. For decades, his diaries, manuscripts, and vast collection of memorabilia was missing, seemingly lost forever. How was it found, Kenneth?
Well, Grosset and Dunlap was Mal's publisher, and they had been purchased by Putnam's during that period in the 80s. And I guess it's still going on when, each publishing company was cannibalizing the others. And they were cleaning out what they called the storage room, which was really the basement of the New York's Life building and in Midtown. And this temporary worker was hired. She was an artist in her 40s to come in and do this work. And she found this stuff and said, "Oh my God, Beatles stuff. You're not really throwing this away, are you?" And,
yeah,
well, they were. And she kind of had to fight for it a little bit. People just wanted to get on with the business of cleaning this place up and getting on to the next thing. And it was really this woman who said, this is not going to stand. We got to do something here. And finally took matters in their own hands and marched uptown to the Dakota and left a note for Yoko, who took things over. And here we are with all of this great material. I mean, Yoko really is our unsung hero. She's the one who made sure that they moved really precipitously and were able to bring all of these materials back to Mal's family where they belonged.
Kenneth, when did you start writing the book?
I started right about the beginning of COVID, actually. Gary Evans got in touch with me and he said, "You want to tell my dad's story?" And I said, "Well, of course I'll do this. Gary's wonderful. And, how do you say no to something like that?" It was when he sent me the material that I thought, wow, this is bigger than I thought. When I saw those diaries and photographs, etc., it completely changed the nature of my approach.
Because 3 years ago, you take on this task, having no idea that just a couple of weeks before the book comes out, the Beatles release yet another song. That's amazing.
Yeah, we really did not have the first clue about that. If we did, we would have been building all of this very carefully, I'm sure.
Yes.
And I'm just glad for the folks at Apple Corps. They really wanted to tell this story and get a great audience for it, and they clearly have done that.
No, there's no question about it. And I will tell you this, Kenneth, and I sat down when they first played there's a new video that goes along with the song now and then. And I sat down, and I got to be honest with you, I did tear up a little bit because I missed the boys. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, we've never mourned.
Right.
What happened so horribly 43 years ago next month. And this is kind of putting a period at the end of that, because so much was destroyed by those bullets way back when, and the killer, of course. All those friendships were severed, and it does feel like we finally reached a kind of fruition, with John Lennon's terrible loss and what was really the end of the Beatles in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, there's no question about it. George then gets sick and the whole situation. But I will tell you, we were discussing when I saw you were going to be on this morning. I remember being 11 years old, and my friend Kenny Anderson and I were at Cleveland Park in Minneapolis, Minnesota, swinging on the swing, singing "Twist and Shout" because the Beatles version is the first time I had ever heard that song. And that is one of my favorite. I was 11 years old singing that song. God, it was fun. The Beatles made my life a ball from the time I was about 11 to now. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. One of my favorite quote easily about the band is Kurt Vonnegut, who said that the Beatles make him enjoy life even more.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And when I heard Now and Then, it made me happy. The way they just superimposed John and George on the video, because there's a video that goes with the song. I hope people do know that, and they should definitely see the video. It's terrific.
Oh, right. It really brings the whole business to life.
I know you got to go, Kenneth, so I'll close with this. Do you ever meet Bruce Wendell, who was a vice president of programming and promotion for Capitol Records?
I don't think I have.
Bruce was a nice boy from Philadelphia. I loved working for him and with him. He calls me one time. I'm about a month into work in the central part of the United States, promoting for Capitol Records. He calls me, he goes, "Hey, Tommy, let me ask you a question." So, "Yeah, Bruce, what's up?" He goes, "Actually, I don't want to ask you a question. I got to tell you something. You only been with us about a month, but would you please stop threatening people?" I'm like, "I'm not threatening anybody, Bruce. What are you talking about?" He goes, yeah, whatever, and hangs up. I will never forget that. He thought I was a little too pushy moving the music forward. But Kenneth, you got to go on tour. You got to come to town and come in studio. I would love to sit across the table from you.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Let's make that happen.
You're a good man. Thank you, Kenneth.
Oh, thank you.
Living the Beatles legend, the untold story of Mal Evans. See, I had no idea this guy had been killed by the police. Did you have any idea this had happened?
No, not at all. Like just the fact that this whole thing came to fruition because they were throwing out just boxes full of old Beatles stuff, and somebody had to step in and say, "Hey, wait, no, let's save this and tell this story," is incredible.
You know how big the Beatles were. So back in 1977, so they hadn't been around. I mean, still releasing music and all the rest of it, no question about it. But WESL in East St. Louis, because I did the central part of the United States. Weasel Radio, what do you think of that? Was an R&B station in East St. Louis. East St. Louis is let me say, it's a bit more urban than St. Louis is. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah.
So I go in my first appearance, and I sit down and say, "Hey," I won't say his name, but "Hey, Jimmy," I'll say was his name, right? how's it been going? Everything good? And he goes, hey, Tommy, I need some help from you. And I said, yeah. So I've been trying to do this promotion for a long time, but your people at Capitol Records won't do it with me. And, you seem like the kind of guy I could deal with. So I'd like to set up a promotion with you. I said, okay. You want to, bring in a couple of R&B acts or whatever? And he goes, no, that's not it. I just want to give away a record collection. I said, well, yeah, I shouldn't have any problem with that whatsoever. So this is an R&B station, WESL in East St. Louis. You know what he wanted to do as a promotion?
What's that?
Give away the entire 42 record Beatle collection. I'm like, let me think this through. You're an R&B station. Now let me guess. Because back then when you gave somebody an album, if it was a promotional album, it said right on the album for promotional purposes only.
Correct.
It said it right on the album. Mm-hmm. And he goes, Tommy, one thing I got to ask you, though, because I don't want to besmirched and all that stuff. I said, what do you mean besmirched? He goes, yeah, I don't want that notification that is for promotion use only. So he was trying to make a little money, it sounded like to me. Because, 42 albums, even back in the day, what are they, $10, $15, whatever they were.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
But that's a nice pile of money.
A little bit.
Right. And 42, that's a lot to give away. Radio.
It's like multiple trips to and from the state.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly. You guys ever been in East St. Louis?
I've
driven through, but not stopped or anything like that.
Oh, even you didn't stop.
Not because I thought it was dangerous or anything like that. I just wasn't going to stop in St. Louis, period.
Well, I love St. Louis. It's
a fine place. I just wasn't. It was a passing through moment. It wasn't. We didn't have time to stop. We're going.
All right. Well, that's fine. You can just ruin everything for me by besmirching St. Louis.
Great ribs, though, from what I hear.
Oh, are you kidding me? Unbelievable. And there's, of course, it was actually called this, so don't call and get mad at Uncle Tommy. Reminding you that I grew up a nice Catholic boy. There used to be a hill in St. Louis. Well, the hill's still there. Not used to be a hill, but it used to be called something.
I think I remember this.
Do you remember what it was called?
It wasn't called Jew Hill, was it?
Nope. You're close, though.
Because that's what I thought it was.
It was called Dago Hill.
There we go.
You know who grew up there? Yogi Berra. That's pretty good, huh?
Wow.
Yogi Berra grew up on Dago Hill in St. Louis, Missouri. No, I do. I love that. You ever been to Tony's in St. Louis?
No.
One of the great steakhouses in America. You have to go up a flight of stairs for the good seating, and the host walks up backwards so he can make eye contact with you the whole time.
I would be creeped out. But
that seems excessive.
Turn around.
Like, what are you doing?
What are you, a campus, like a college campus tour guide here?
Right.
Or you can polite.
I don't.
I'm
still gonna tip the 20% whether or not you make eye contact going up the stairs.
I suppose.
I'm sure there's some historical reference or reason why they do it, but
yeah,
we can skip all the theatrics. I'm just here to get this steak.
Well, you guys are so negative.
Bring me my slab of meat and let me eat in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the one? I cannot remember. It was a program director in town. I can't remember who it was. A woman, actually. And some of her people were saying some stuff on the air she thought was just not pleasant at all.
Okay.
And she sits down and says, okay, we need to address this. Why all the negativity? The negativity.
I know we schedule another meeting and we try this again.
Why don't you get like a thesaurus or something and look it through and then get back to me? Negativity. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
That's a good title, isn't it?
Words are hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Words can be hard. Okay, so we can move along now.
Sure. Yeah.
I thought that he was great. We didn't have enough time with him, unfortunately. He was going to originally be on it for 15 minutes, but then he booked something at 30.
Yeah, I'd assume he had something that came up last minute.
Yeah, little scheduling altercation with on their end, so they had to.
Oh, was it?
They had to just. It had to be a hard 9:30, unfortunately.
What the hell lame outfit was he talking
All
about?
right. No regard for our feelings.
You know, it's so funny, and I won't say who it is because I don't want to insult the person or whatever. So it could have been one of 40 radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm driving in, and I just tune around once in a while, see what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy plays a song by the Electric Light Orchestra, and at the end of the song fades out, and he goes, ELO. It's like, why would you do that?
people find the need to be extra on the radio. Like I gotta have my one catchy catchphrase that's gonna catch on.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
It's just
Zazzmatazz.
right.
Zazzmatazz. That's a good way to put it.
That's what we're gonna start doing.
So yeah, ELO. And the other one I love is, thanks for listening. Tell hi to your mom for me. Like what?
I didn't know Mark Wahlberg was on a radio show.
Mark Wahlberg does that?
Oh, that's like the generic thing where, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There's an old, it's not old, but for me it's older, but it's a SNL sketch where he.
Oh, did you see that? He looks at me and goes, well, for me, it's old.
For young people, it's
For young
I'm just
people
saying,
like
what,
me,
you turned
Tom.
what, 45 today, Tom?
Yeah.
So.
No, to my IQ is 45.
No,
Total
in
difference.
AJ's defense, I do catch myself going like, oh yeah, old music and thinking it's the 60s or 70s. Like, yeah, okay, nope, now like 90s is more.
Soldier Boy
old.
is now
Yeah,
old,
Soldier Boy is old. Yeah.
Soldier
But,
Boy, yeah.
But yeah, no, Mark Wahlberg, they made fun of him. Andy Samberg did a whole thing where he's, hey, Amy Poehler, how you doing? Well, hey, you look good. Say hi to your mother for me. But then they had Mark Wahlberg come on the next week because he was the host, and he did redid the same thing, and they made a joke of it like nonchalantly.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's just like a running joke in the Mark Wahlberg community now, where it's just like say hello to your mother for me.
Yeah.
Say hello to your mother for me. I love that. I see the Wahlbergs are pretty good, don't you think?
They're interesting.
Interesting. That's a good way
Yeah.
to put it. They're interesting people.
Yeah, I mean Donnie's got his New Kids on the Block, and then he actually is a surprisingly good actor. He was in
Yeah,
he was in
I-
Band of Brothers, and I love that show.
Yeah, I agree. They are, a couple of them are pretty good actors anyway,
Yeah.
don't you think?
And then they got their burger stuff now, and hey,
Wahlburgers.
they're
Do
all
we have
doing
them here?
something. Yeah,
I thought we had one. Is there one in the Mall of America?
I think there's one there. There's one like in a high V where like near my house.
Okay.
So like I thought they were nicer establishments, but maybe not.
Are they? Because I think they're similar to Shake Shack.
Okay, is that
I
kind of what it is? Okay,
I believe that's like the kind of the quality burger it is.
I've heard very mixed reviews.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah,
I've never had one, so I
haven't
can't tell
either.
you.
No,
I
neither
just,
if anybody has who is listening, email in and let us know your thoughts.
I got to be honest with you, and it might be, my advanced years or whatever, but a hamburger is a hamburger.
Oh, that's
You'd have to
blasphemous.
really mess up a hamburger
That's
for me to not like.
blasphemous.
I feel that.
Oh,
I
you're saying
love it.
okay? You're saying you like
In a good
okay,
way.
in a good
Okay.
way. Okay.
See, you're just so
I
negative.
got
you people.
offended for a second.
I
I was about to say, Tom.
Look at me next time you say
There's
that. Just to, like, break it up.
because there are so many high quality burgers in Minneapolis.
Are they like where's your favorite?
Well, my favorite is probably Parlor Bar. It's
Where's-
just a
where's that?
Parlor Bar. It's downtown in North Loop in the basement of like Burrow. It sounds like a basement dingy, but it's like a very nice establishment.
Really, it's called Parlor Bar.
Parlor Bar. You get the parlor burger, you get the fries with the little garlic aioli. 10 out of 10. It's a smash
Really?
burger. It doesn't have all the extra stuff on it. It's just regular
Yeah, I don't like all
cheese.
the regular, all that extra stuff.
They have their
That's
little
not-
house sauce, and it is by far the best burger you can get. I got one to go once, and it tasted just as good as eating it fresh. Like it is 10 out of 10.
There's Val's in St. Cloud, which is like that's an all-timer.
Oh,
for me.
really?
But there's one place that I haven't been in like a decade. I want to say it's in Shakopee. It's called the Lion's Tap.
Yes,
Oh,
Lion's
I
Tap is
love
another
Lion's.
one that's
Yeah.
That
very
is-
good.
Like in my mind,
Yep.
I had that when I was a kid. In my mind, that is like the creme de la creme. I just haven't had it in so long, but I got to get back.
Yeah, and it holds
Yep.
up. There's a lot of places like that are great. Steel and Hops, which we've talked about before, is great. There's the Nook, obviously in St.
I love the
Paul.
Nook.
That place is amazing.
What does their T-shirt say?
I don't remember.
Phenomenal. The Nook, St. Paul. It's right in the Cretan-Durham Hall there.
Mhm.
I don't know if they still wear them or not, but they used to wear T-shirts that said, "Meat is murder. Tasty, tasty murder."
They do still wear those shirts.
I love that.
I'm sure them and Peter get along just
Oh
fine.
yeah.
Oh God! When my kids were, Alex was going to St. Catherine's and Andy was going to St. Thomas. By the way, I may have brought this up before, but I don't know if I did or not. Do you think there's any other kids in the world that went to college at their father and mother's named schools? St. Thomas and St. Catherine.
Oh no. Yeah.
That was kind
That's
of
a
weird. don't you
coincidence.
think? I never
yeah.
even thought of that until about 6 months ago. But yeah, so we used to go over there. They lived over between the two schools, And so we used to go to the Nook all the time. And that place, whew, there's a bowling alley downstairs too, isn't there? There was.
Yeah, there's a bowling alley downstairs, and then upstairs is just kind of their normal bar restaurant area.
So I went to the Nook many, many years ago. It's probably 20 years ago. Maybe I'm just guessing at that. I went and had a hamburger at the Nook. Loved it. Murder, tasty, tasty murder. Went down the bowling alley, and there's Governor Tim Pawlenty bowling.
There you go.
I'm like, there's a St. Paul boy for you right there. I guess South St. Paul in his case. He's from South St. Paul. But yeah, so the best burger in town, he says, is the Parlor Bar.
For my money, Parlor Bar.
I'm
And
gonna give
I
it a
would say it's
whirl.
probably not even close.
Darren writes in and he said he thinks Wahlburgers is really good, but he also said they have the best chili that he's ever had at a restaurant.
At Wahlburgers?
That's what Darren
I'll have to
says.
give it a whirl, man, because I love chili. But I will say, if you F up chili, it's really bad.
That's like I
It's
feel like
true.
the opposite end of that is like a chicken sandwich. If I go to a place and I don't see anything on the menu, but there's a chicken sandwich,
Mhm.
it's really hard to mess that up. But
Yeah,
you're,
that's
like,
true.
you're right. Chili, it's like if it's bad, it's inedible.
It's inedible. You're
Yeah.
right. No, good chili. So we have to try their chili.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I wouldn't think maybe they do like special chili fries and they can throw it on a burger. So like that's weird. The other burger place I know that does chili is Wendy's, but I would
Yeah.
not assume like people found a finger in there once. So
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need to bite into your fingernail while I'm having a little chili. That would not be. Do Wahlburgers have drive-throughs, or they all walk up?
I think they're a walk up.
I think so. I think that is right. Or a couple of them. There's not all, but there's a couple of them.
Dennis is saying Matt's, which is the home of the Juicy Lucy.
Oh, Matt's is
And then
fantastic.
5'8" bar in Bloomington as well.
Are you a 5'8" or a Matt's believer for who actually has the original Juicy Lucy?
That I mean,
or do you not care?
I think I prefer 5'8" over Matt's bar.
Me
Really?
too, personally.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But
I've
I
never eaten at 5'8".
believe Matt's is the first one. Like if
It
anybody,
was, yeah.
anytime
Okay.
anybody comes into town, I'm like, yeah, that's the original Juicy Lucy.
You know what's weird?
What's that?
Is I looked over your shoulder and there was movement over your shoulder. I'm like, what the hell's that? And I didn't realize it's already 9:45. Forgot this show is flying
We are
by.
flying by.
See, you just get rid of Brittany for a day and everything lightens up. It's magnificent.
Best present she could have ever given you for your birthday.
Not
absence.
showing up.
Her absence.
You know, it's so great. My family just adores her. Don't tell her this, but they love her. I do too. I've known her since she was 17 years old, I think she was, before she won the service. But she's such a pain in the ass. It's unbelievable. Let's put it that way, right? Well, should I go to break? I probably should go to break before I do another story, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, it's your show. You're driving the bus. Whatever you want to do.
Don't give me that BS.
Well,
Don't
you
try
know.
handing me that action.
Plus, it's your birthday. How am I going to tell you? You know.
ELO. Actually, it was the Beatles. But anyway, we will be right back right after this. So these 8 lifestyle changes can add 6 years to your life. Any guesses of what one might be?
Drinking more water.
Oh, I like that's a good guess. I bet.
More water, probably more sleep.
More, okay, we're going more water, more sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Working out crazily. I
Yep.
bet you that helps.
I would imagine that's probably good. A good idea.
I hope there's like a surprising one. Like
Yeah, there will be one that's like a glass of wine every day.
Oh, I'll start doing that again.
I'll go edit the story, and you need extra caffeine, extra Diet Pepsi.
Yep, for your sake.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
So if I went back to drinking 1 glass of wine a day, can I use a 64-ounce glass?
Right, that's the other thing. How big is this glass? Are we talking a standard
Right.
pour? We got a fish bowl.
We'd have to figure that out. We will be right back with these 8 lifestyle changes can add 6 years to your life right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
Tom here, and I just read a success story from MN Fat Loss client Elizabeth, who just completed the program. Elizabeth writes, I'm a 54-year-old woman who has struggled with losing weight. I had almost constant heartburn, trouble sleeping, brain fog. I tried counting calories, eating bars and shakes, and several other programs in which I would lose 5 to 10 pounds after months of struggling. After 60 days of the MN Fat Loss program, I was down 25 pounds. MN Fat Loss had really empowered me to believe that I can control my eating and my weight without having to sacrifice foods that I like. If you're thinking about finally committing to improving your health, this is the time to start. You won't regret your investment in yourself. It's so easy to see if MN Fat Loss is a good fit for you. They offer a free phone consultation to learn about the program. They also have virtual options to help you if you live far away, which I think is a brilliant idea. To schedule that free phone consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. The only thing you have to lose is that unwanted weight. That's www.mnfatloss.com. I cannot wait to hear about your success story. And please let them know that Tom sent you.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch all his plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkelaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
There we are.
For some reason, the mics were all off. That's weird.
That's because AJ wanted to silence Tevin and me.
Yes, so.
That's what it is. Andy has now joined us. AJ goes, now where does he go? He goes over and works with who?
Score North, Judd and
Oh, that's right. He goes to work with Score North after this show. He does the first 2 hours and then hits the road.
Yeah, I think Purple Daily, I think is the first one he does.
I think that's exactly right. A new report from the American Heart Association says doing all the stuff on their Life's Essential 8 checklist can add 6 years to your life. People who do them tend to have a biological age that's lower than their actual age. So you might be 51, but on a cellular level, you're more like 45. And bonus, you'll also feel healthier. So here are the 8 things you need to do. Are these in any special order? Do I go 8 to 1, 1 to 8? Does it matter?
I don't think it really matters.
Doesn't look like it. It looks like it doesn't matter at all. So these are the 8 essential things you need to do to live a longer life.
I'm thinking there's not going to be a whole lot of surprises here. Don't smoke, don't drink, exercise.
Eat right.
Yeah, sleep well. Yeah.
All right, we're going to find out. Number 1 is eat better.
There you go.
Less processed food, more whole foods, veggies, nuts, and seeds. See, I just give. That's all I ever do. Just to make sure that the world is balanced, I eat a handful of cashews every day. God, I love cashews. They're good. Is there a better nut than a cashew?
Probably not.
I don't think so. I love peanuts and all that stuff, but cashews, there's something special.
Yeah. Not until you get into like the candied
chocolate covered almonds.
Yeah. Well,
like
that's good.
But that's not really a nut. That's a
That's
a candy at that point.
Is it true that cashews grow on the bottom of apples?
Yes.
It
Yes,
is
they do.
true.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yep. Cashew apples.
Cashew apples. They grow on the bottom of an apple.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the first one to grow? Hey, this is growing out of the ass of an apple. I think I'll eat this.
Well, it's like
grab the apple by the nuts.
Pretty much. And it's like you got this apple with like a thing growing out of it. So you pick the thing off and eat it and throw the apple away.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
It is weird.
Yeah, I always assumed that there was, I guess, a cashew tree or a cashew bush.
Peanuts,
yeah.
Cashew apple.
Interesting.
And they do eat them where they grow, but apparently it's not worth trying to sell them, like ship them across the world.
Oh,
so they just, the farmers eat them and sell the cashews.
Yeah, and I wonder if like the first time they found a cashew at the bottom of an apple if they tried to plant the cashew because they thought that was the seed.
Maybe.
Oh, it might be the seed. I
It
wonder.
might
I don't
be the
even
seed.
know,
It could
honestly.
be. I don't know either, but cashews are really good.
Yeah.
The only problem is with the cashew apple is they're not even roasted yet. So, you know, whoever decided to be the first one that roasted nuts should be anointed as God.
Oh, yeah. The advancements that we make culinary wise, because it's like, who was the first person that thought I should grind this plant up to make flour and then add an egg to it so I can bake a cake? And
Well, yeah, because you just know, like the cavemen were just taking the wheat stalk and eating it like a cow would.
Yep.
And then eventually someone was like, you know what? You chew on this, it turns into this powder. Maybe I could do something with this powder.
Very exciting, but also terrifying because I'm sure there are a ton of foods that we're eating that we now know are poisonous that were killing a lot of people.
In I think it was Ireland, there's a part of the potato, I think it's the root, that's poisonous.
Really?
And people used to die from eating that part.
Well, there is a nut that's poisonous too, but I can't remember the name of it.
There's a lot of things that are poisonous.
Well, I suppose that's true.
Let's see. Potatoes. Apparently it's from eating raw potatoes, maybe.
I've
I don't
eaten a
know. It's
raw
hard to say.
potato before.
Why?
Oh yeah, green potatoes and new sprouts. So there you go. So a
sprouts
not
are-
matured potato and a sprout.
Yep.
Eat those. Not good.
So yeah, number one was eat better, but less processed food, more whole foods, veggies, nuts, and seeds. Number two is be more active. You already nailed that one. Adults need at least 75 minutes of modern exercise a week. And 10 minutes a day is it? That's it?
Yeah.
That's what you need to be healthy. And you would be surprised how few people do that.
Then you're probably right. Probably right. Number three is, there you go, Andy, do not smoke.
No smoking.
And by the way, that does include vaping. Vaping is every bit as bad for you as using tobacco.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Oh, they say that includes vaping. They're saying it is just as bad.
If we're ranking the badness of smoking, I would say vaping's, I guess, the safest maybe, but
Well,
it's still very bad for
vaping is just pure nicotine, basically.
Yeah.
And nicotine does have some negative effects to it, like it's a vasoconstrictor, so it'll raise your blood pressure, that sort of thing.
You don't need that,
But you're not inhaling at least the burning.
Yeah, but you're not inhaling, ash and smoke, which is definitely an improvement.
I would have to agree. Number four is get enough sleep. See? Oh, by the way, Andy, you had input in this, so I'll tell you that your mother and I agreed, because I have not been sleeping well at all, that I am now down to one Diet Wild Cherry Pepsi a day.
Well, that's pretty good. I would
There
drink
you
it
go.
right in the morning.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I did.
you're good to go.
I had it this morning, because I got to get, I'll get a lot better sleep, I'm sure. So yeah, get enough sleep, 7 to 9 hours a night for adults, up to 10 hours for teens.
Yep.
When I was a teen, I used to sleep about 14 hours.
I know.
a
I
day.
slept so much as a teenager.
I always love when they say the 7 to 9 hours for an adult. I can't remember the last time I slept 9 hours.
9 hour. I don't think I can. I start to hurt.
Yeah.
You wake up. You got to go to the bathroom. It's impossible.
It's true. Keep your weight in check. A healthy BMI is between 19 and 25. There are online calculators to help figure out where you're at. Well, how do they measure things like muscle mass and stuff like that? Body mass index.
They go by, it's an average.
Yeah.
So it's just an average.
Honestly, if you're going to do a BMI, don't do it online because it's not, you have to be able to like pinch the skin and do all.
Well, yeah, if you want to get a real assessment,
Yeah.
you need the fat calipers.
And because
Yeah,
if you go online, everybody's obese. You put in six, my peak fitness being a college athlete, put my body height, weight.
Well,
whatever,
athletes are always going to,
and then it always says you're obese.
but if you're not an athlete and a BMI says you're obese, you're obese.
I guess so. What is that?
Hell, somebody just crashed?
What the hell was that?
Some major damage out there.
Do you see anybody moving around? Yes. We'll send the big man out to find out who's making noise. Lock the door. It's some hoodlum.
Yeah, they security's lax today. We'll just say
yeah,
that.
there you go. Well, good. Well, now that you two checked on it, I
Yep.
know I'm safe. So that's good.
Yep.
Okay, so keep your weight in check. Number 6 is control cholesterol. High levels of bad cholesterol cause heart disease. Now, where do you? I don't even know where cholesterol comes from. Is it a meat thing or what is it?
No, it's pretty much any high. Well, it depends because like some meats are high in bad cholesterol. Some vegetables are.
Really?
Most oils are pretty high in bad cholesterol.
It's because cholesterol comes from fat mostly, right?
Cholesterol is kind of its own thing. It's
own thing?
related to fat, yes. But there's two main kinds. There's the high density and low density. Low density is the bad one because it's low density, which means it's high volume, which means it clogs up your arteries. High density is the one because you need cholesterol, but you want the high density cholesterol.
I just saw something that appeared on my watch just now. Is this from the watch company?
Did it say warning cholesterol levels at
No,
critical?
it says today, November 7th, election day, and Tom Barnard's birthday.
No, it didn't.
It does too. Look at that.
Is it
Tom Barnard's birthday?
Oh,
like,
it's
what?
your calendar. So
No,
you're-
it's not.
Yeah, that's your calendar. Like,
Liar. I don't use a calendar.
so it's telling you that's election day, and then on some app or something, you probably have Facebook linked to it where it says it's
No,
your
man.
birthday.
I don't go on Facebook, though. I don't go on any of that stuff.
Oh.
I don't know what the hell that
But
is.
you're also big enough of a local
Don't
celebrity
start.
where we all get an alert to our phones when we wake up.
That
Tom Bernard's
asshole.
birthday.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so manage your blood sugar, eat right, and exercise to avoid type 2 diabetes. That's a good idea, too. And keep your blood pressure in check. 120/80 or less is ideal. Well, you can find your blood pressure on your Apple Watch, can't
No.
you? Oh, you
Blood
can?
pressure, you need a sphygmomanometer.
Wait, can't you also do that arm thing that's at like every Walmart?
Yes, you can.
When I was a little kid,
Yeah.
no idea what those were, but
Absolutely.
oh man, we're racing to that every time.
Oh, you
Cool
sit in
robot.
the chair and put your...
Oh yeah, and
I know what you're
you'd
talking
always
about, yeah.
flex because we thought we could affect the number somehow, like we thought it was a game.
My favorite is seeing like 150-year-old people doing that. It's
Yeah.
like, does your blood pressure really matter at your age? Be honest.
No, that's kind of negative, I would say, mister. So, those are... Well, actually, Andy, you named all 8 of them, so you kind of had to dialed in anyway.
Yeah, that's
right?
8. We've only been through like 4.
No, we went.
Was that all of them?
Yeah, it was all.
It was like
went through
eat,
all 8 of them.
Sleep, feel like 8.
I did all 8 of them. You guys maybe should pay attention.
Cholesterol, obesity, eat, sleep, smoke.
Yeah, I guess that was
That's 5.
I read all 8 of them. I'll just run them down again. Eat better, be more active, don't use tobacco, get enough sleep, keep your weight in check, cholesterol, blood sugar, and blood pressure.
We didn't do blood sugar.
Yes, we did. Too.
No, we didn't.
It says I did because it said manage your blood sugar, eat right, and exercise to avoid type 2 diabetes. I did say it because you two were schmoozing with each other and not paying it.
We're probably checking on the security threat that was.
Well, you know what? I bet you were.
Yeah.
You probably were checking on the security threat, making noise. That's what it was. I never had to go through a security threat. Not that I want to now. Don't get me wrong.
No.
But yeah, that would not be good. What outdated tech are you still using and are perfectly happy with it? Are you using any outdated tech, Andy? I doubt that you would do that.
Is a pickaxe considered outdated tech?
No, I don't think so. You got to chop it down somehow.
That's true.
Some people are early adopters of tech. Others are still flipping through their channel guide on their TV, trying to find the Netflix channel. Well, it's not a channel, but other than that,
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, not really. I have like really old consoles, but I don't really use them anymore. I do play old games though. I emulate them.
There you
but-
go.
I wonder if do they mean like your can opener? If you use a standard can opener rather than an electric can opener,
I
or they
suppose, yeah, maybe.
We have one of those ones that pops the top off rather than cutting into it, which is everyone should have one of those.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of those.
It basically undoes the seal on the top.
Okay.
There's no sharp edges at all. It's great.
Interesting. I'll have to find one of those.
You know, your mother has always said to me from the day I met her 43 years ago, she said, okay, you can go in the kitchen, but you just can't go in the food prep area. She doesn't let me anywhere near the cooking part.
Yeah. Well, it's somebody that cooks and my girlfriend can't cook.
Oh.
It does suck to try to like work around somebody that
That's
doesn't
what she
really know what
says.
they're doing. So you're like, just let me do it and I'll
Yep.
let you stir it while it's cooking on the stove.
So you guys come over, I'll sit and talk to your girlfriend and you and Catherine go cook.
Yeah,
it'd be perfect. A notepad and a pen.
Every so often you need a pen. It's easier.
You have a notepad and a pen right next to
I'm
you.
not
There
going
you
to
go.
whip out my laptop if I need to write down someone's phone number or something.
Right, exactly.
And I'm on the that's my least favorite thing is you're like on the phone with someone and they're like, let me give you our phone number. It's like, oh, well, now I have to go get a pen because I can't put it in my phone because I'm using my phone.
Yeah, true. It's a good point. Watches that just tell the time, maybe the date too. That's a problem, though. It's a problem in one way. In other ways, it's not. I have a watch that I bought many, many years ago, and somebody alerted me. I didn't find out myself, but somebody alerted me that watch is worth a fortune now because it's one of those.
Now, especially going to with everybody with their Apple watches and like Fitbits and stuff like that.
Melissa's got a Google Pixel, which is basically an Apple. It's Google's answer to the Apple Watch.
Yeah, those aren't collector's items because this is essentially just a phone getting updated every year. So you're always
that's the thing. It's those things are like, a 5-year-old Fitbit is worthless.
But whereas if you buy a Rolex or any other brand of high-end watches, those definitely hold their value, and you can get them to where they're 20,000 and up.
Oh yeah,
very
sure
very
can.
easy.
They're worth a fortune.
That's the thing about tech is that it depreciates almost every time.
Yeah, true. That's true. Well, here you go. A calculator with buttons and a screen.
We had to buy. Like when you go to college, you're
the
taking
Texas
tests,
Instruments,
the TI-85 or whatever. Yep,
exactly. Listen to you two.
Oh, because it was
every school made you buy one, and
it
they're
was
like $200.
Yeah, I remember going to the Target or Walmart, and my mom's like, looks at the list. She goes T85. She looks at the calculators, and there's a Casio one right next to it. That's $40.
Good enough.
Grabs the Casio, and off we go.
Absolutely. I remember thinking, well, God, this was like 20 something years ago, thinking that was the coolest thing. You could like make graphs and stuff. I remember
Play Snake.
Yeah, exactly. You'd have like really simple games on there. And there was a mathematical formula going around where if you punched it in, it drew the Batman symbol.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Pretty cool. These days, that's like, might as well be talking about, I remember when the wheel was first invented.
Oh God, yes.
But, hey, things change.
Physical media, DVDs, CDs, video games, books, textbooks, etc.
We just got rid of almost all of our DVDs and stuff.
God, I still have about 200 of them in the closet.
I had a roommate in college that was that way, where he had
that was Melissa.
Hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah, we had like 2 probably 100-pound boxes just full of DVDs in their cases.
Don't you think that'll be worth a lot of money someday?
No.
Because nowadays everything is so mass produced that you don't. There's no collector's items.
Well, it's like even really old video games, for example. There are NES games that are worth tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, but only certain games in mint condition. The rest of them, even though they haven't been produced in 40 years, they're worthless.
That's true.
So, but if something was made, maybe in like 500 years, a copy of Super Mario Brothers will be worth a lot of money because they'll all be gone. But in our lifetimes, no.
I suppose that is true. A lot of people mention previous video gaming systems.
I still have all mine.
You do still have
every
all
single one, all the way back to my first Super Nintendo. I don't have our first NES because we sold it to buy the Super Nintendo.
Sacrifices must be made sometimes.
Is it true?
That's back when everyone was like, "Oh, well, it's the Super Nintendo." So if we sell the regular one, it's the same thing. It's just better.
Yeah.
But nope, you can't play Nintendo games on the Super Nintendo.
Is it true that Atari buried all of their games out in the desert because nobody was buying them?
That was about the ET video game specifically. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep, they made a video game, the ET video game.
Like ET Phone Home?
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh, he hit the cough.
Still got a cold. But yeah, they made the ET video game. It's considered one of the worst games ever made. They made millions of copies because they're like, oh, it's a movie tie-in game.
Yeah,
it's going to be huge, and no one bought it. So the myth goes that they buried them in the desert out in like Nevada or something. I don't know if it actually happened, but that is what everyone believes. But
they say it did.
I will say that game did, at least in part, cause the video game crash of 1983.
Really?
Yep, because it was so crappy, and people were like, oh, well, if this is what a video game is, I don't care about it.
I suppose, yeah.
And that's going to happen again soon. I can tell you that much because phone games, they are so bad. And that's what Gen Z is growing up with.
And they're bad?
Well, the problem is they're all like, you play this game, and the only phone games that anyone plays are free games.
Correct.
But the reason they're free,
littered with ads.
Yep, they're either like every single time you die, which is every 5 minutes in these games, you got to watch an ad, which I mean, I guess technically isn't that different from arcade games where you put in a quarter, you live for like 45 seconds, and then you got to put in another quarter. But something about having to stop and watch an ad is just a lot. I'd rather be able to put a quarter into my phone and keep playing.
Already mentioned by a coworker, ladies and gentlemen, at number 6. These are people talking about outdated tech they're still using. Already mentioned by the man to my right, a hand crank can opener.
Oh, wow.
It's on the list.
Really?
Yes, it's on the list.
Who's going to pull out a gigantic electric can opener and plug it in just so you can open a can?
Right. It's because opening a can with the old school way, it's, I guess, sure, not as convenient, but it's also not such a big inconvenience where I'm like, I need to go get something better.
You pull it out of the drawer and it takes, what, 5 seconds to open a can?
Yeah. For the one time a week that I use my can opener, if
exactly.
That, yeah, it's not worth it.
And it's like, I could see the old style can opener where it's like you got to go like this over and over throughout through the entire diameter of the can. That, if anyone uses, I would judge them for it.
There was a guy in our old neighborhood when we lived in Golden Valley. Number 7, a motorless lawnmower. In other words, a push mower.
With
I've never used
blades
one.
that
The blades that spin, yes.
I never understood how those work or were effective at all.
He would not use a power mower.
They
He
work,
wouldn't do
but it's a lot of physical effort.
And that's
our
why he did
neighbors had one for their son because he wanted to like help mow the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave him a push mower and they were like, here you go push it around. And he did.
I guess it's a good workout. That's what he claimed.
Yep, absolutely.
He said it's like working out. So that's good. I'm going to skip over the number 8 because it makes me sad, and we'll go on from there. But I've been telling people this for about 3 years now. Paper maps. You brought those up, didn't you, Andy? Paper maps.
I did not. I haven't used one of those since I was probably in my very early 20s.
My favorite is I haven't used one of those since Christ was a corporal. I never knew he became a general. I don't think even Jesus knew that. One person said, "Call me crazy, but I still read by hand-dipped candlelight." What?
Okay. They're just being dramatic now. What are you, my Amish relatives? The gas lanterns everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, and number 8. This is the final one. I moved number 8 down to number 10, but it does make me sad. We're talking about outdated technology. Number 8 is a radio.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep. It's people still listen to radio, not as much, but it's all digital now and podcasted and streamed. And
yeah, it's the same thing. It's just the tech is different.
Yeah,
you know,
the tech is different. But
no, it's like TV. You don't do the rabbit ears anymore. It's all through a cable or an HD antenna.
Which, do you guys remember when the new trend and fad was, did you guys know you can get free TV by putting these antennas on? It was like, okay, guys, like, if we really come that full circle. And one thing I'm surprised it's not on there is vinyl record players.
Oh, yeah.
Because those are making a huge comeback now.
It did not mention them. You're absolutely right about that. It says the topic gave this person an excuse to lash out in a profanity-laced rant on smart light watches. It boils down to this: on off. That's what a light switch should do. It cannot be improved upon. My light switch should not be trying to interpret my intentions.
We have some smart lights, which is nice because when you leave the house, you can say turn off all the lights. And all the lights just turn off. Rather than having to go through the house and turn off every light.
Well, it's not a bad thing.
Well, we have like 6 of them out of the 30 lights in our house.
Oh, okay.
We have Joe on the phone.
Oh, we got to go to break. Tell him.
No, we don't.
I have to do, Andy, believe me.
Oh, you have like another thing that I wasn't aware of.
This is in my first.
You got mad at me for not knowing about it.
I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying that once you follow my lead, Buster.
Andy, this is his special day.
That's true.
But Joe, if you can hang in there, we'll be with you in about, or you can just call back in about 10 minutes. Will that work?
Well, we have Kristen in 4 minutes is the problem.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll put Joe on now. No, I got to read this and then we'll put Joe on.
There you go.
And then we'll go to break.
Perfect.
All right. The Eagles are at the XL Energy Center on their farewell tour on Saturday, November 18th. And you can see them with me in my suite To enter, just go to the Tom Barnard app or the website at tombarnardshow.com. Listen for your name to be announced each day at 8:10, 9:10, and 10:10. Email us back by midnight at contest@tombarnardshow.com, and you win. Today's qualifier for the See the Eagles with Me in My Suite is John O'Byrne of Richmond, Minnesota. John O'Byrne, email us by midnight tonight at contest@tombarnardshow.com. And congratulations to Monday's winner, Todd O'Connor, who emailed us back. He and his guests will join me in my suite to see the Eagles on November 18th. John O'Byrne of Richmond, Minnesota. Email us by midnight tonight at contest@tombarnardshow.com, and we'll see you in the suite with the Eagles on the 18th of November. All right, Joe, what's happening, Pally?
Just called up to say happy birthday, old crab ass.
Oh, well, that's nice to call in. You're such a good guy. Apparently, you don't watch the video on the show because it just shows these broad shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Yeah.
then.
He's not listening.
He's not,
to me.
The show, I don't watch it.
I
unless
understand.
you guys are live.
I understand that 100%. We're live right now.
Kind of redundant.
So what else is happening, Pally?
Oh, same shit, different day. Most of the auto workers have gone back to work, and a lot of them have voted for the contract. There's a lot of people that don't think they've gotten enough.
Oh, okay.
They want more.
I don't know this, but I should know this. How they doing with the SAG and after strike? Did that end, or because they said that was their final offer?
Yeah, no, it's still going on from what I've seen.
Really? Because they say they're not coming back with a better offer. So what are they going to do about that?
Well, yesterday,
It's never their final offer, never their best
Oh,
offer.
it never is?
There's
Okay.
always more.
All right. See, I
Yeah,
wasn't-
it's not a matter of being greedy. It's a matter of, getting what's deserved. Because if you
I
look
understand
at
that.
car prices, they've gone up since 2008, and auto worker price wages have not. So,
Yep,
but
we got to
yet
work it out.
Still, people are blaming auto workers for their price in the cars.
Now, what are they going to do about EVs, Joe? Because I own an EV. I own an EV because of Doug Sprinthal. It's his fault. But anyway,
Sell it.
they
Get rid
honestly,
of it.
people will not drive EVs. They just don't want them.
The EV was actually tried once a long, long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd figure that with the novelty of it being brand new and everybody wanted to, quote unquote, cosmopolitan, they'd want to try it. Nope, they didn't want it. They didn't care for it. And they turned the EVs into taxis and just they faded from existence.
Were they too expensive?
No, nobody wanted
It's
them.
just nobody wanted because
It was-
now it's because they're so expensive.
They're very expensive.
Well, yeah, now they're give away your first kid.
That'd be Andy. I'd have to give Andy away.
It's a fair trade.
Andy for an EV. Exactly. All right, Joe. Well, thank you so much for calling in and calling me names on my birthday. I really appreciate it.
And I actually toned it down a little bit.
I know.
You'll probably get better from Doc later.
Oh, yeah. You're probably right about that. But, Joe, thank you very much, pal. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
I'll do it later.
Thanks a lot.
Have a
Joe
good
calling
day.
from St. Louis. I'm not St. Louis, from Louisville. But
Yep.
Louisville, Kentucky, as a matter of fact. But thank you. I've received, literally, I just checked my several hundred birthday wishes. That's
Yeah,
very
there's
nice.
too many birthday wishes to go through and name everybody by name in the emails, but we've seen them all.
That was very sweet. It was very sweet of you to do that. No question about it. Now we got to take a break. We'll come back. Kristen Burt will join us right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. Get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing The Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now, stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this, at Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw and Bryant, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bielke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
If you'd like to find out more about growing your business with the Tom Barnard Show, go to tombarnardshow.com, keyword partner.
We're back right now.
Seconds. That's
are we really?
0 seconds.
We have 0 seconds. So Amy and Dan just delivered a birthday cake to me, so that's where I was. Sorry.
Oh, let's see the birthday cake. Happy birthday to you.
I'll go grab it. You guys
Who's
can
gonna go
grab
grab it? Yeah, I had to move it because she put it on the coffee table, and Jude's going to be here in about a half hour.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want Jude coming in with a birthday cake sitting on the coffee table. I'll tell you that.
He'll have a snack.
Yeah, he'll have a little snack. No problem. Uh-oh. We just lost.
No, I took him off because it's empty.
Oh, you took him off. Okay.
He'll be back.
What did he do? Leave?
I guess
You
so.
went to go get your birthday cake. So
Yeah, I know, but the
did.
front door closed. Oh, there he is. Oh, we're going to thank you, sir.
There we go.
Let's
Happy
see it.
birthday to
Oh, it's got sprinkles.
Got little crayons for candles, too. Huh?
I love it. Did you make a wish?
Not yet, but I will. I will at some point.
No, I was making sure she wasn't like on a phone call or something on the hallway if she
Oh,
was just
yeah.
going to surprise you with it, but
She's gone, huh?
no, she's gone. She didn't.
What the hell? That's all I have to say is what the hell. So, Kristen, what's the latest?
Oh, the strike. You know, we have to talk about this
have to.
because the AI is a sticking point. And I want you guys to hear this, and I'm going to read the exact wording so that I'm totally accurate. And I want to get your immediate reaction from this. Okay.
Mhm.
This is what the studios want, the AMPTP. They want to get AI scans for what's called Schedule F performers. So they are SAG Guild members who earn more than the minimum for series regulars. So they earn more than $32,000 per TV episode, or they earn more than $60,000 on a feature film.
Is that scale?
So they're earning above scale.
Above
Schedule
scale.
F is above scale. Yep. So the producers are suggesting that studios and streamers pay to scan the likeness of those performers, and then they will be able to use it indefinitely, in perpetuity.
Yeah, that's not good.
Without paying the performers. So SAG is seeking to attach compensation for reuse of AI scans. And also there's another thing where they also want to use scans of deceased performers, which is also an issue.
Ooh. Now,
Yes.
what was the movie? Was that the Tom Hanks movie where they did that? They superimposed like John Wayne and all that on. You were drinking the exact same drink that I had just now. I love that stuff.
Oh yeah, the San Pellegrino stuff.
San Pellegrino. That's the. I love the. What's the purple one too? That's good too.
Black cherry.
Is it
Something
black
or
cherry
other.
or something?
Yeah, I don't know. We get the Costco pack on them, so.
Oh, we do too. I understand exactly. No question about it.
But the point of this all too is that the more AI likenesses that they scan, just so everyone understands this, the less people they need to use on set. If you have less actors on set, that means less people to light, less people to do hair and makeup, less people to feed for catering. This significantly, if this passed on the contract, which SAG is, saying this is a major sticking point and we're not going to sign this. But what it would do would significantly reduce the amount of workers they need on a movie set or a TV set and downsize Hollywood significantly.
Yeah, the ripple effect, as you're saying, with the catering and makeup and all of that is something that most people wouldn't even think of. And so obviously for that, you would say, oh, that's probably bad for AI. But just from the actor's point of view, if you scan my likeness in and, okay, maybe I have to do less work now, sure, that's fine if I'm going to be in the movie, but I still be getting paid the same as if I showed up on set, because if a studio scans all their actors in, they're not going to charge less at the movie theaters. They're not going to take less money out of their pockets because they found cheaper labor. So if I'm going to scan my face in and you can use it forever, I want to be compensated. And when I die, if you still use it, you better pay my family that's still here.
Yeah, there should be like a rule that says a ticket cannot exceed like some percentage of the budget. And that way, if they do end up cutting a bunch of costs like this, they have to charge less.
Right.
I think that'd be fair.
That'd be fair. I mean, and the reason I point this out and just like mention it to everyone, because this starts to it creates a ripple effect beyond Hollywood. And that's why we all need to be paying attention to what's happening with AI.
And if they started using AI for actors, it kind of would taint the award season a little bit, because now what are you going to give this AI version of me an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor? Like
best AI performance, motion picture. And of course, I mean, I don't think actors are going to go away completely, but this creates a way for them to also, for background scenes. We know that they've already been doing CGI with that, but this creates even a more realistic view of people, because they're actually real people that are sitting there in an audience, and now you don't have to pay them. Listen, if you are a background actor, you're only making like $180 for a 16-hour day.
Oh God.
You deserve to get paid if they're going to use your AI image.
The only problem I have with that whole thing is there are all these, I don't want to call them the lower end actors or whatever, but not the big stars, I guess is the best way to put it.
B-listers?
Yeah, B-listers, I guess is a good way to put it, Andy. What they did is they took over the voiceover industry. There are, people all across the country, like I was involved in voiceover for 30 years and all the rest of it. And then the B-listers took over the job. Well, now the A-listers have taken that away from them too.
Yep.
That's right.
So, I mean, the A-listers want all the money, and that's not a good look. I will tell you that.
You got to get into anime voice acting.
Yeah, there you go.
No A-listers there.
Well, and that's what's interesting too. It's the A-listers who have been pressuring SAG and AFTRA, particularly our president, Fran Drescher, to make a deal.
I love that.
They want to get back to work. They're like, make a deal. And you know what? If you don't fight for the middle-class actor, that's going to be completely wiped away. And you're just going to have a movie with like 4 A-listers, and then you'll call it a day. You don't need anyone else because you can AI everyone else. If we just cut this deal that the studios want everyone to sign.
If she has a meeting, does she go, the meeting's at noon? Does she do that?
You know what? She has had, well, this is kind of interesting. There's been a lot of discussion about her very unusual negotiating tactics.
Yes.
She brings in like a little stuffed animal and like it's like a little stuffed heart and puts it on the table, like in front of the studios. She's known just to be very no nonsense. She has no problem calling them out on their ish, and she is literally, they're just so used to people just coming in and doing the lawyerly thing, and she's like, no, this is exactly what's happening, and I'm going to tell you why this is wrong and why we're not going to settle. And the strike is now at 117 days.
God, is it really?
Yes.
Ooh.
And we are at the point that if a negotiation and this strike is not settled within like the next week, this is pushed until January.
Really?
This is pushed until January.
Yeah. The holiday season, yeah.
They can't get the production up and running.
Right.
I mean, writers can write all they want, but without an actor on set, nothing you can do.
It's so amazing to me what the internet and artificial intelligence and all of it has done to this world, because it's ruined a lot of things for a lot of people. There's no question about that. I mean, it just has.
Yeah. I mean, I even say, as much as I love my iPhone, I think that the iPhone has destroyed a lot of, just personal connections and everything with people. I mean, we've all gone to lunch with that person who cannot put their phone down.
Oh, yeah.
And
You're
you're
right.
like, why did I come to lunch with this person? I can put my phone down. I have no problem with that. But I'm going to completely admit and be honest that like at the end of like that lunch, I'm like, oh, let me check my email. Let me check what's happening on social media.
Yeah.
There's a weird addiction that we all have.
See, I don't do it. I don't go on any social media at all. I was on social media until about 11, 12 years ago, Andy, something like that.
Yeah, just after the show started.
Yeah, so it was like 12 years ago now, right? 11 years.
Yeah,
11 years,
about
12
that.
years ago. Yeah, it just didn't work for me. People were saying things to me because they were distant that I had never heard somebody say to me in my life.
Oh yeah, a lot of keyboard warriors out there.
Oh yeah, a lot of them.
You have to have a thick skin too with all of that, because
you do.
people get so personal. They'll just start picking at your appearance and stuff. I'm like, really? And then you click on their image and you're like, okay.
Yeah, like you're a beauty. Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
I don't take it personally. I'm like, it's that whole like hurt people kind of thing.
The one thing that I mentioned yesterday, and it's going to get worse, excuse me, is going on streaming television now. Let's say you go to the Hulu channel. Is the Hulu channel the biggest one now, or is it still Netflix?
Netflix has won the battle. I just was listening to a podcast about it, and they're like, Netflix won the battle. Everyone's still going to try and catch up with them, but Hulu, I think, is one of the strongest in terms of really good content.
It's really interesting because if you go on Hulu and you click in, it says live now, and there are like 4 or 5 things listed. Okay, it's not how it used to be. There used to be like 20, 25 things listed. Now it's like 4 or 5. So when you shut it down and go immediately back to it, a different live now pops up. And then if you click it and go back a third time, it's completely different again. So they're steering you to what they want you to watch. That's pretty scary.
The algorithm gets to know your preferences.
That's
and
right.
that happens on social media. But for someone like me, Peacock, I watch a lot of gymnastics. That is my sport of choice. So anytime it's on live, it pops up immediately into my feed. But if you go and look at my husband's, we're on the same account. Gymnastics and Simone Biles are not popping up for him. Football is popping up. So it definitely knows your preferences.
But let me ask you a question about that, because then there's TV for you. There's live TV, and then under that it says TV for you. And that whole list of shows, that's nothing that Catherine and I watch. So I would assume the algorithm is telling me, well, this is what you always watch. It's mostly shows about UFOs and like Penthouse magazine.
Well,
Like,
what were you watching to get Penthouse magazine?
I was in my UFO reading Penthouse. And
what is Catherine watching when you're not home?
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
that's it.
UFO shows and porno.
Yeah.
But it suggests things that are similar. So if you're watching a lot of, like, let's just say true crime, a lot of true crime documentaries will start popping up, or even true crime scripted shows, that type of thing. They'll think, oh, you'll absolutely love watching this. So
Where would UFO and Penthouse come from, though? I don't get it.
Well, because if you're watching true crime, it'll be, viewers that like maybe a conspiracy show about the government also are into UFO. So they do take celebrities and stuff like that.
The naked ladies part.
Or that's that's more of a specific search that happened on his
I
TV.
don't think it's about naked ladies. It's about Penthouse magazine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know. You know what it is though? Isn't it that isn't that part? I think the Penthouse is part of that like Secrets Revealed of like Playboy. Did you watch that one?
No. Is that good?
It is actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrifying, but it's good. You really understand. It really puts Playboy into perspective of what people thought it was in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I
and
bet.
really a lot of the damage that was done to a lot of the women who were Playboy bunnies because they were passed around and they were abused. It's tremendously sad. But also some of those Vice segments that you've watched probably pop up
That's
yeah.
because I do watch some things on Vice. I do watch that.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I'm
Yeah,
sure it's
so
like
I'm sure that because they do the deep dives on like, wrestling and the 90s and the 2000s. That's probably why the Penthouse is popping up.
Dark side of the 80s, the dark side of the 90s.
Yes,
that's
not your interest in Bob Guccione.
Yeah. And too, it's probably like Netflix a little bit where they have their list of what's trending and magically 9 of the 10 things are all Netflix originals that they're just trying to promote that are new.
Yep.
So it can be stuff like that where they're definitely trying to steer you in.
So weird. I've never watched a UFO show in my life. I don't care about that.
I look at the algorithm for YouTube and for Hulu and that. I look at them as like a slot machine. And you take your preference token, you put it in the slot machine and see what shows up. Just search something different.
Yeah, I suppose.
And you'll and sometimes it'll all come up. The whole list of suggestions will be exactly the same. Just bizarre. It's a fascinating
makes you
algorithm.
wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I also think, I mean, your iPhone is listening somehow because I can be
That's
talking
true.
about things on this show and then my ads will start popping up with
That's
like
true.
what we discussed.
We had any Playboy bunnies on recently
I was
on the
just saying,
show? or
now
something?
I'm going to get a bunch of Penthouse advertisement now. 'Cause we talked
Probably.
about it.
They even still make Penthouse?
On your work computer, always great.
Oh, you know what though? Didn't he just die like a year ago or something? A year or two ago, the guy who ran Penthouse. What the hell was his name again?
Bob
Penthouse was-
Guccione.
Bob Guccione was
He
Bob,
died
yeah.
13 years ago.
He died 13 years ago?
Yeah.
Hef died, I want to say like 2017, somewhere around there.
Really?
Who died?
Hefner.
Hugh Hefner. around
Yeah, that sounds
2017.
about right. If
Yeah.
not more recent.
God, I didn't know he died 13. Well, are they even still around?
Yes, they are still around.
Are they really?
Mhm.
I mean, in 2012, they had a circulation of 100,000. So
Not
the
great.
magazine is basically gone, but they have a website.
And Penthouse had a store on Sunset Boulevard for years that was very successful.
Selling what?
Yeah, what do you
Adult
selling?
toys,
Oh, God.
like anything you possibly needed for the bedroom, they had it available and they were open late. So if you were stumbling out of a Sunset Boulevard bar, you can stumble into the Penthouse store.
Lovely.
And you could and they were right around the corner from Doc Johnson's, one of the best purveyors of fine adult entertainment, adult toys up in North Hollywood. We were going to Joe's Garage to see a band, which was Frank Zappa's old studio, and we parked, got out of the car, are walking along, and I go, "Wait a second, this is the Doc Johnson corporate headquarters was up there." So it's a fascinating kind of thing.
So you're on today on the Family Show, aren't you, Kristen?
Me? Yeah, I usually just sort of slide into it, don't I?
Yeah, the reason I bring it up, you're going to be on today, is because you need to ask Catherine. We were watching a British show last night from seemed like it was from the maybe 80s, something like that. And there's a special room in this house. The investigators are trying to find, I don't know, some criminal. I don't even know what the hell they were doing, but they open this door and there's like a sex dungeon in the mansion.
Well, you have to watch have you seen the show How to Build a Sex Room, Kristen?
No.
Yes.
Okay, Tom. You'd probably hate it, but I think you would find it kind of fascinating, but you'd get annoyed and be like, this is too much for me.
You know,
but it's
really, why?
It's essentially this old, cute British lady that goes
What's with the Brits and the sex all of a sudden?
I don't know, but it fits, your brand of what you're talking about. But she goes and finds these couples that have either, intimacy issues or they're into super specific kinks and builds a room like this size where they are just their sex room, where they have whatever gets their freak ignited is in the room.
Because I got an email last night at this absolute moment. These investigators open this door and they go in and it's a sex room and all the rest of it. And I'm on my phone. I've been looking at my phone And all of a sudden I hear, from Catherine. I look over and she's got a blanket pulled over her face. I look over the screen and there's about a 5-foot glass dildo. It's like, was that their logo or something?
I would say that sex rooms are more common than you think. And occasionally
Really?
they will pop up on real estate listings. You will see what is clearly a sex room.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Really?
maybe they've cleared out a lot of the equipment, but there are signs that it was still a sex room. You know, and it's funny because if that's not your thing, you know, that it seems shocking. But honestly, I think a lot of people just don't talk about what they prefer. And I do think that, especially here in Los Angeles, I think they're a lot more common than people think. And I would bet across the country, they're also more popular than you think.
Yeah, but besides the garden variety S&M and B&D, was it just like themed like it'd be Hello Kitty room or
This is
or
my
some
Toy Story sex room.
Yeah, it can be fetishes too. People don't think about. People have weird fetishes.
Or even it'll be a family. They've got 3 kids, and the whole house is just kind of chaos. And so here's our specific room when we want alone time. Kids aren't allowed in. Yeah. Dogs aren't
Soundproof the
going
bedroom
there.
doors. There you go.
Yeah. But then you do get the really out there ones where they're like, we like to pee on each other, and so we have
mental
to have a room
illness
with
kind
a
of
drain.
people.
toilet?
But
Well, the Kim Kardashian tape, if you saw that,
Yeah, I suppose. Was
she
it
and Ray J
J?
were peeing all over each other.
Were they really?
Yeah, they leave. They
What
don't
is
talk
the
about that part.
upside? What is the upside of having someone pee on you?
People are into weird things.
What's the upside of hallucinating demons? I don't think there's really an upside.
Well, there is that.
If your
That was an
brain's
episode
broken,
of
your
Sex and
brain's
the City
broken.
too. The peeing episode.
What-
It was a political candidate who wanted Carrie to pee on him,
Yeah.
and then she wrote about it, and it hurt his campaign.
John Kerry?
No, it's not
no,
John.
no.
Carrie.
Carrie from Sex and the City.
Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City
Oh, I don't even know
was
what that is.
dating John Slatter. John Slattery played the political candidate on Sex and the City, but it was a whole entire episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's fine if people want to do that, but it just, you know why? I don't know. It just seems like a more effort than what's necessary to clean up, at least.
You know, it's kind of interesting. We're talking about this
For
today
sure.
because there was a police officer in the state of Minnesota just arrested, I believe, yesterday because he was hitting on 2 14-year-old girls, he thought, on the phone, 2 separate 14-year-old girls. Well, they both turned out to be like 25-year-old police officers. Goodbye.
Some Chris Hansen kind of stuff going
Chris
on.
Hansen,
Yeah, it is a Chris Hansen kind
How
of
to
deal.
Catch a Predator. Look
Yep.
at you for your birthday.
Look, I mean, you live your life in good. You know, let's stay away from the kids and the animals.
Kitty
Why
cat.
don't we- There's a kitty.
She's here for your birthday.
My birthday kitty. She always looks at me like, "What do you want?"
No, she's
She goes, "No,
she's sweet. She
kitty."
just had her birthday, so
Oh, she did.
she was 10 on November 1st.
Well, it's actually Ethan's birthday today. It's not my birthday anymore.
It's been usurped.
It's been
Yeah.
usurped. He took it.
Superseded.
It was so. You got to tell Kristen about what he was doing when everybody was over for his birthday party on Sunday.
He was
What-
doing all sorts of stuff.
Well, it was when the Viking game was on
Oh,
and people
yeah.
were cheering. It was unbelievably cute.
Yeah, so you probably don't know this, but the Vikings just beat the Falcons 2 days ago in like a very close game.
Yep.
Because we were behind the entire time, and then all of a sudden we got a touchdown at the very end, like 20 seconds to go. Everyone's freaking out, cheering, clapping. And Ethan is opening his presents, and he hears everyone start freaking out, and he just drops everything, and he starts going,
He's just clapping and he doesn't know why.
he's like, we're all happy. I gotta,
I gotta join in.
yep.
It was very cute.
He's just like, yay, clapping.
Yay, clapping.
He did that at your whatever that party was that we had for you. Remember, we went out to was it Midland Hills? Bilski put it together. It was like-
Oh yeah, when I got fired. He put
yeah,
the
your
Tom got
pseudo
fired
retirement party or whatever the hell
Yes,
it was.
exactly.
Every time someone started, like, they went up to the podium and everyone clapped, Ethan would just start clapping along, even though he had no idea what was going on.
He's like that kid that half falls asleep in school and the rest of the class starts clapping and he snaps out of it. He's just like, oh, I should start clapping too.
Pretty much.
I'm here.
It's very sweet. So just to kind of re-reference for a second, it doesn't sound to me like the SAG-AFTRA thing's going to end anytime soon.
As of right now, no. And
Yeah.
the studio said this is our best last and final offer.
Mm-hmm.
And SAG has come back and said no. And so hopefully they are going to meet again today at some point, and maybe they can convince them. But that AI, I'm telling you, if you don't get a grip on it now, and it's already escaped us, we know this because I mean, Tom Hanks has already said, like, hey, someone's AIing my face. Scarlett Johansson is suing someone because they've been AIing her face for a dating app. Yeah, she's like,
oh, that's not nice.
This is happening. So, and they're just hoping that they don't, you don't catch it.
Yeah.
Or that the actor doesn't see it. But I'm like, Scarlett Johansson and Tom Hanks are pretty recognizable faces.
Yeah, and at the same time, too, if I'm scrolling through a dating app and I see Scarlett Johansson on there, like I'm not believing that that's actually Scarlett Johansson.
Well, then you start like Googling it. Did she and Colin Jost just, divorce? You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, never mind the fact that she's married. Even if she did get a divorce, I'm sure her first
she's
move
not going to be
isn't
going
to
Tinder.
Bumble or Tinder.
Go on to your
She's
app.
gonna go on.
I think she's got some options lined up for her, maybe.
She's on Raya at best.
Oh God, what a world we've turned into. Yeah, that does. I'm telling you, seriously, that AI deal, that stuff scares the hell out of me. They can do whatever the hell they want with you, and like you said, they're already doing it.
Yeah. And there were the kids at a high school that were making AI nudes of all their female classmates and passing them around.
Oh, see, and that like all that sort of like
Remind
revenge
Alex
type
the
of porn
cameras
is
are
scary.
on all the time because her kids are in here now.
Oh, the cameras are on all the time.
Birthday,
says Andy.
We are not editing them out. Sorry.
It's my birthday
With
party.
little stickers on their faces.
Yeah, really.
Sage just goes, "Is it your birthday party or your real birthday?"
I mean, there is a cake here, so we are
There's a
partying.
cake.
Yes, Amy
It's
and
both.
Dan from Hubbard Broadcasting brought the cake in. So you do get a piece of cake.
I know. I wish I could have a piece of cake. There's nothing better than cake for breakfast.
Get on an airplane. Let's go.
I used to be able to do that. Not anymore.
Oh, eat cake for breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
I
cake for
understand
breakfast.
A muffin. Muffin's
all
cake
works
for
out.
breakfast.
That's true.
There is
You need the frosting though. I'm more of the frosting than the cake. Like I
has
will
to be a
leave the
good
cake and
frosting.
eat all of it. I'm the one that eats like the big rose and like all the
you like the
ribbons.
little
That's too
sprinkles?
much.
You like the little sprinkles on it?
I
There
think
you
it's
go.
beautiful.
I think they're missing a few candles though.
No. What are you talking about? I'm
I'm no
7.
mathematician, but
I'm 7 years old.
One for each decade.
I knew you were going to stab me in the back. I knew it.
Thank you.
Stab me right in the back. Don't worry about my feelings. Alex just got here with the kids.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. It's great to have you in. I hope Nana can make it in today.
You can't have these, dear.
Well,
I know.
oh, no.
here, look, Mom, look what I found. You can't have these. I know, but
Yeah, they have red food coloring in them. You can't use red food coloring.
there's other stuff that doesn't have red
Oh, he
food
can't.
coloring.
Just
Come to California. They're eliminating all of the red food dye.
They
I
should.
incredible.
We have all
I am-
we buy everything that's all natural, everything now.
I don't know.
It's not that difficult.
I don't know why red food coloring has to be in so many things.
It's
Is
cheap.
it really?
Food coloring is in. It's like
They
how
put it
can
in literally
how
everything.
can all of Europe not have any artificial food coloring, but in America
They
it's
have
in
artificial food coloring. They just
everything.
don't have the same artificial food coloring.
They'll
No,
use beets.
like most of their candies and stuff don't have any food coloring in them. It's like they're all natural based.
skeptical.
Okay. It's
Whoa.
aggressive. It's aggressive.
What is he doing
I
now?
don't know. What?
Charging you? This is a perfect example, Kristen Burt, of my life because it's a 3-generation thing every day, which I love. I love the fact that the grandkids are here, that kids are here. Catherine and I will be here. I mean, I love that a lot.
My goodness. Sorry. They have school off today because their school's a polling place.
Their school's a polling place? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said a bowling place versus a bowling place. And I'm like, what
Sounds
kind of
fun.
bowling gets you off of school?
It's very competitive.
That's the school we want to go to.
So today is like state by state voting, correct?
Yes, it's local
Yes.
elections.
It's all local
Mhm.
elections. So what do we got going? What
I don't even know what our local elections are.
School board.
Hey, can
Where
we
do you
pop
find
up
this
Ralph?
out? No, I can't.
You
Don't they
Google it.
mail you your ballots?
I haven't had that.
I haven't
happen to
had
me.
anything mailed to me.
I don't, in our area, there might not be elections. It's
Yeah, there are. There are
Are-
definitely.
how do you look
City
this kind
council,
of thing up?
City council. You just look up your. If you just do your zip code and you say elections. I'm sure
I
something
tried
will
doing
come up.
that. It didn't work.
Really?
So what do we got going? We got what going in Minnesota? Anything specific?
Well, it's like your city council, your school board, how they're going to spend money, that kind of thing.
Oh, that kind of deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. What do you got out there, big Kristen? You got any big candidates going for something?
Nothing big, just like local bills, ordinances, that kind of thing. School board, things like that too.
You know what's really interesting happened in Minnesota, and again, I don't live there. It's none of my business, and I don't really have an opinion about it. But I'm just talking about on a national level, and I'm not trying to get political here. It's just happening for the first time that one of the biggest areas in Minnesota for Jews to live in is St. Louis Park, Minnesota. I mean, you remember that when you lived here? It was a pretty, well, it still is a very big Jewish area.
Mm-hmm.
They're about to elect the first Somali mayor of the town. I mean, does that not show that everybody's getting along a little better than they are in most places? I mean, am I reading too much into that?
Probably.
I also would say, has the neighborhood changed at all, the demographic of who lives there?
Not much. I mean,
Not
a
much.
little. Yeah, it has changed, but not completely. I mean, that most of the Hasidic Jews in Minnesota live in St. Louis Park. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. But it looks like the guy's going to win. So maybe some people are tolerant still. What do
I
you
think people are just going to vote for one party no matter what it is.
Yeah, probably true.
It's much simpler than you think.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. It's either Democrat or Republican, isn't it? That's all there is to it. It's
That's
just
all we're offered, really.
Yeah. No, that's true.
I mean, because even voting, say in a presidential election, voting third party, you know that your third party candidate is not going to win.
Yeah.
Nope.
So if you
Not ever.
want someone in office who you think maybe aligns a little bit closer to you, then you're either stuck voting for a Democrat or a Republican.
No question about it. I just it's the world is moving in a different direction. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, so if you go to My Ballot MN, if you search that, then you
Mhm.
just type in your zip code and then you type in your house number and it gives you everything.
Oh, there we go.
that You
Oh,
need
really?
To
Let's see.
look
here.
at.
And then you go vote, or can you vote online now?
No, you can't vote online.
Oh, there's stuff in the
Not
ballot
yet.
boxes out east.
Yeah, it'll
There's
happen.
like city questions, mayor, city council, special election for council member.
We get mail-in ballots in LA, so we don't have to go down to the polling place.
Why do they
Terrible
allow
Because
that?
traffic's
That's a
already bad enough.
terrible idea.
Oh, because it's so much more convenient.
Build
That's all-
more election zones.
But in LA, I've had plenty of friends. Their mail-in ballots have been rejected because their signature
Mhm.
on the mail-in ballot does not match their driver's license. It has to
Really?
match. Yeah.
No, I was right. There are no elections where I live.
Oh, really? You don't have a city council or
Nothing.
any mayor?
None of that stuff.
Mayor was 2 years ago, I think we did a new
Oh,
mayor.
okay.
Well, the mayor retired, and then we had a special one.
Hey,
You
the
know
mayor
you
was
live
a big
in a-
listener.
You know, you live in a small town.
Yep.
Mayor just drove away.
And he's like, I'm done.
He's a big
I'm
listener
done.
to the morning show. I love the guy.
That was the previous mayor. That was Norm.
Oh, I
That
thought Norm
was
was still the
Norm.
mayor. He's not, huh?
No, he was considering doing it again, but I don't know. I don't think he probably wants to.
He's too
Just
busy.
remember,
listening.
guys, this is the run-up to a really big year. And next year we'll be sitting here.
Oh,
Get your popcorn
Oh,
ready.
dear God.
I know, get your popcorn ready, because who knows how it's going to play out in the next 12 months.
I know. I've been watching, as I've mentioned, Will and Grace again. I'm almost done with it. And they make fun of George Bush a lot in it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they would wish we had Bush back now.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, would you think now, like listening to that, you're like, George Bush is in his basement painting puppies and kitties.
Exactly. Like,
I mean, I don't want to get carried away with this, but is there a chance that neither of these guys is going to be on the ballot?
I hope.
They both
actually
will,
think-
but I think there's a good chance that they will both be dead from old age by the time the
I mean, we
next
can
term's
hope.
over.
That's kind of negative.
Well, I mean, they're Biden is like 80 something, isn't he?
I think he's 80 now, isn't
Yeah.
he?
He's,
Yeah, he's 80.
Yeah.
he's
Donald Trump is 77. But I'll just say, I wrote an article yesterday on this, just so you, David Axelrod, who was a senior
I
advisor
saw
to
that.
Barack Obama. Yeah,
Yeah.
he just was saying, like, with the new polls, and I get it, polls can be really inaccurate, but
Yeah.
in some of the key states, Trump is leading Biden. And does that sound the alarm for some of the Democrats? And do they think about possibly running someone else for president? And will Biden step aside? If they're going to do that, it has to be sooner versus later. But then also, listen, Donald Trump is in a lot of legal trouble, and this is just the first case. This is only a civil case that he's going through. Once he goes through the federal cases, will he even be able to run? We don't know.
They're going to not let Trump
No,
run
they'll
for
just
president.
keep piling shit on him until they find something that sticks.
Well, there's a lot of states that I've seen that are trying to get him to like off the ballots.
Well, Minnesota's one of them.
Yeah, so
It's very banana republic.
You know what amazed me yesterday? That woman. What's her name? The guy the woman that charged Trump with all those things.
Letitia James, the New York Attorney General.
Did you hear what she said yesterday?
Mm-mm.
I have a problem with Trump because he's too white.
That should be immediate disbarment.
You need to go. She needs to be disbarred today. How can you dare say something?
Well, in every case she's ever led should be scrutinized now.
I would agree. If she's that big a racist, my God, that was hideous. And I'm not even protecting Donald Trump. It's just you can't talk like that,
right? Especially when you're going through a legal battle. Like how that's. Oh, did you learn that in law school? Is sad.
That's a $250 million case too, so it's not a small case.
No, it's huge.
Well, the problem is who's going to stop her? Nobody.
Sorry. She's drinking from a water bottle that's bigger than she is. All right, Kristen, we got to go, but it was So we'll keep our fingers crossed that nobody ever wins the presidency again. What do you say?
Sounds like a great idea. We'll just all run it ourselves.
Yeah. We'll go without a president. We're
doing so well as it is.
What did Cat Williams say in his one special? He's like, can we just be single as a country for a while? Just date around for a few minutes.
We'd all be happier. Kristen, another brilliant report. Thank you.
Thank you and happy birthday. Hope it's a great one for you.
It already has been. Thank you very much. We will take a break, be right back, and wrap things up right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombernardshow.com.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser. This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkelaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
Tom here, and I just read a success story from MN Fat Loss client Elizabeth, who just completed the program. Elizabeth writes, I'm a 54-year-old woman who has struggled with losing weight. I had almost constant heartburn, trouble sleeping, brain fog. I tried counting calories, eating bars and shakes, and several other programs in which I would lose 5 to 10 pounds after months of struggling. After 60 days of the MN Fat Loss program, I was down 25 pounds. MN Fat Loss had really empowered me to believe that I can control my eating and my weight without having to sacrifice foods that I like. If you're thinking about finally committing to improving your health, this is the time to start. You won't regret your investment in yourself. It's so easy to see if MN Fat Loss is a good fit for you. They offer a free phone consultation to learn about the program. They also have virtual options to help you if you live far away, which I think is a brilliant idea. To schedule that free phone consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. The only thing you have to lose is that unwanted weight. That's www.mnfatloss.com. I cannot wait to hear about your success story. And please let them know that Tom sent you. We are back for just a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll take the break before the family show comes on. This is not a good headline for people in our business. Well, we're not in that business anymore directly, but a Philippine radio anchor is fatally shot while on Facebook live stream, watched by followers.
Well, I mean, we're not in the Philippines, so
Well, I
there's
know,
that.
but I don't like that radio announcer being shot to death. I'm not wild on
while live on air.
While live on air, exactly. Manila, Philippines. A radio anchor was fatally shot by a man inside a southern Philippine station Sunday. He went right into the radio station and killed him. In a brazen attack that was witnessed by people watching the program live on Facebook, the gunman gained entry into the home-based radio station of a provincial news broadcaster, Juan Humalan, by pretending to be a listener. He then shot him twice during a live morning broadcast in the Philippines. The attacker snatched the victim's gold necklace before fleeing. So he steals his necklace after. Unbelievable.
Like a chicken waffle place.
Oh, the chicken waffle place. Yeah, that's right. Same story. It says the Philippines has long been regarded as one of the most dangerous places for journalists in the world. Did you know that?
Well, the Philippines is just overall not a great place to live right now.
Yeah. Not too even keel. Is that what you're saying?
No, and I have some places like the Philippines and China and Korea and stuff like that. They don't really praise their local media in too much.
The kids aren't in the room now, are they?
Nope.
Well, because I went many years ago, like 25 years ago, walked out the back door of the old KQ building in 917 North Lilac Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Guy put a gun to my head. I will never forget that. Oh yeah, I have walked out the door and he literally put it up to my head.
Did he say anything?
No, didn't say a word. And then I said, "There's something you didn't like about the show," or. But he made his statement to me that I needed to do something, and then he just left. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I mean that's probably the best outcome that you could hope for that situation.
Right. Oh no, they're coming from every direction. He just brought me my birthday.
So looks like we're about to have some cake.
I was going to say the children have decided that
honestly,
it's
great
happening.
customer service from your kids.
Yeah,
You're
welcome.
Was this an individual who had a gripe, or was it sort of an organized individual who came up and says with sort of an Italian accent?
No,
a Russian accent or some such thing like that.
No mafia.
It's my first gift.
Me too.
What's in it? There's
Nothing
something in it.
I don't even know what this is.
Oh
from.
no, there's a.
Oh, mine's empty.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Looks like a clip
A
for.
clip of some
I don't
kind.
know.
Of some sort.
Oh, and I got a battery.
Oh, lucky you.
And I
Mine
got
was
another
empty.
clip. No, I got all
you got a
kinds
nice
of
little
them.
clutch.
I just got the
He
And a
I will tell you
sponge.
honestly what it was about.
Okay.
I was criticizing the Minnesota Vikings. That's what he was mad about.
And
settle down, sir.
And in that moment, you've got to be thinking like, of all the things I've said on air, it's the Minnesota Vikings that have done me in.
I know.
That's right.
Oh, I got another bag for my birthday. Thank you. I got a shopping bag. All right, we better take a break and be right back. We'll kick off the family show right after this.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years. But I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now. Stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkelaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
I love how you can hear children laughing in the background.
Just got
It's chaos.
the use and care guide for the water cooler.
Vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, great.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
you're going to have
we're
to
good to go.
clean up everything that you bring in here, sir.
Yeah, you do realize
Sir,
that, don't you?
it's like worth it.
Welcome to the family with
Tevin Pittman,
Alex Brandt Bernard Rasmussen.
Hackmaster Ralph Basham, MD.
Andy Brant Bernard.
And Timmy Lammers.
Oh, sorry,
Who's in
Timmy.
there? And
I
who's
am
here?
here.
Say your name.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Fawn.
Yes, you can hear me.
Yep.
We can hear Timmy Lammers. Yes, Timmy. I just wonder when, it would be nice if Catherine was here. Oh, so I got this now.
Getting
Okay, thanks for bringing the kids in.
Happy
Hey, I could
birthday.
have not shown up. I'm not going to be here tomorrow because I have to sub. So I was like, I'll come today.
It all works out.
Everyone has COVID. So
All right. So what's happening in the world?
I say Super Bowl, baby. I texted you, Tommy.
Oh,
Super
you
Bowl,
did?
baby.
You did. Look
So
at your
you're-
system shiny.
You're a Josh Dobbs believer, Tim?
I certainly am. I love, even if it's for one game, to see something like that happen is pretty awesome. You have to admit it.
It was a hell
Where
of a
it goes from here, who knows? But yeah, I love that sort of comeback victory. It was fun to watch. That's at this point, if we're not going to get a Super Bowl, just make it interesting to watch. And the fact that they've won 4 in a row or whatever, I mean, it's fun. It's just, just roll with it when you can.
Yeah, it's nice to see a team that isn't giving up through all this up and down and uncertainty. So yeah, they're keeping on the fight, and so it's at least entertaining to watch, regardless of if we win or lose moving forward.
Yeah.
Reserve your room in Vegas.
Now,
yeah.
Get your lawn chairs out on Hennepin Avenue for the parade that we're going to be throwing. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Well, it does make you wonder, because it happens this way. I mean, with what's his name, the guy out in San Francisco who lost to us. Yeah, I mean, when you see somebody like that come out of nowhere, when you get a Tom Brady, I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but it just gives you a little spark of hope that, wow, we really did find a diamond in the rough. So, and of course, this is all going on the fact that the guy didn't know our system or didn't even practice with the team, did he?
No, he not one practice snap. Like before he went in, they essentially had to introduce him. Like, this is the center. You're gonna say HUD a few times. He's gonna hand you the ball.
That's good.
A real basic kind.
Oh yeah, and from what all the reports are, it was Kevin O'Connell was calling the play and then having to translate it into layman's terms for him, so he could know, like, okay, these two guys are going to be over here, and if they're not open, good luck.
Yeah. I mean, so they're dubbing it miraculous and everything else in the media. I mean, they want a great story like this to latch onto, and that's great. I mean, I hope it continues. That's all I can say.
Yep.
It was fun to watch. I will tell you that we were over at Andy's house celebrating Ethan's birthday, which is today actually, but that comeback win at the end was awfully good.
Has this man ever had any like really good hits? How much does he play?
No, he's
been around though. He's been in the league a couple years at least, right? A few years.
Yeah, he's been in the league for a little while. He's been on like 5 teams in 3 years or something crazy like that. He was a quarterback out of Tennessee that was probably, I think, like a 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick, not highly touted, but was a good backup. And
yeah, I always want to see him, take 4 or 5 hits from these 400-pound guys that are solid rock muscle, and then see how enthusiastic they are about taking those chances and making those plays.
Yeah, well, he's mobile. He's a relatively big guy, so I think he can hold up.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing, to see a quarterback of ours run after Cousins, who didn't run that much.
Right.
That's a risky thing to do, though. And obviously that same sort of situation led to Dobbs being put in. I mean, this rookie, he wanted to make something happen, and he paid for it with a concussion. So it's a dangerous thing. Well, remember RG3, Robert Griffin III?
Sure.
He was incredible that first year, and he ran and ran and ran. But at some point, somebody's going to hit you. And then game over, man, game over. And that, I don't know how much longer his career lasted after that, but it was never the same.
No, it wasn't very long. Well, because what happened to him was they thought he sprained his ACL, but it was torn. And the team just kind of threw him back out there because, hey, we need you to finish this playoff game. And it was just sad watching essentially a wounded animal try and play a football.
Yeah, it's too bad. So moving on to entertainment stuff, I got to know what Kristen make of this situation with the strike. I mean, are they
not looking good?
It can't be. I mean, if AI is the situation and they're talking about how companies want to scan actors, I mean, they're pushing hard on this whole AI thing. They want to cut costs by not paying extras. That's true. But it seems to be a problem more with the A-listers more than anything. So is that what she said? I mean, what else did she say?
That was pretty much it. She had this look in her eye, like you could tell she was very sad about it.
Oh, say goodbye to the end of this year. I mean, this is not going to, if the studios say that, I don't know how they can turn on a dime and say, oh, okay, we'll give you what you want.
Or if they reach the point where they're going to say, fine, you don't want to do this, we'll just turn on AI.
That's exactly what they're going to do, too.
They just may turn on AI. Your first AI shows may be released January, February, because they can turn. It's just a matter of just zeros and ones, and the computer power is there to just turn them out.
Well, there is this Disney Plus movie that it's amazing how bad they put a couple digital characters in the stands cheering at some. It's a teen movie. I can't remember the name of it, but they put them in there and they look like video game characters from the 1990s. So if that's what they have planned, good luck. But eventually it is going to get there, because you know that people who aren't actual filmmakers doing deepfake videos out there, it's pretty amazing stuff what they can do.
Yeah.
Well, Carrie Fisher, she could appear anywhere at any time, at any age.
Yeah.
Because they used her in Star Wars.
Yeah. And you know, when they said, well, we're going to use old footage from The Last Jedi or whatever, that the last stuff she filmed, you thought, oh, okay, this is going to be interesting. Basically, it's going to be extra footage that they cut. No, what they basically did was they lifted her head from a scene, and they created a character with new costumes and everything else, and then that's how she was placed in these scenes digitally. So and this was what, when was the last film? 3 years ago, maybe. Yeah, you know what? It came out right before the pandemic, or right around the pandemic. So that was 3 years ago that they did that, and it was pretty convincing. So you're right. Anything that anybody's done in the past, they can take them and just plunk them in wherever they want to.
Yeah, if they have no contract, then they can just go back in their files and just use it, because there's nothing forbidding them from doing that. There's no limitations as to what they can do with AI and with computer generated visuals.
Mm-hmm. Too bad. Well, we always have reruns to watch too, you know, so a lot of good movies out there too.
Catherine and I are watching a lot of old English shows right now because we see this coming.
Yeah. What are you watching?
Endeavor, which is really good. But what's interesting, Endeavor, I believe there were 9 seasons of it, 4 shows per season, but the 4 shows are all an hour and a half long.
Oh, wow.
So it's like watching 4 movies a year of this. It's a really, really well acted, really good show. No question about it.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of good stuff out there, and also, you know, the Netflix, which is part of the solution and part of the problem here in this whole negotiation business. They can import shows from anywhere, and they do, and it doesn't seem to matter. I mean, shows like what's it called, Money Heist?
Yep, the Spanish show.
Yeah. I mean, there's some great stuff out there from overseas, and I mean, because I'm deaf, I have the captions on anyway, so it's never been a problem for me to look at captions, never. And apparently not a problem for other people either, because shows like that, like Money Heist, are hits.
Yeah, or Squid Game from Squid Game was another one that.
Yeah,
Lindsay's watching one, the Majorca Files. Now, just had absolutely terrible green screen driving scenes, but I mean, just bizarre. I mean, worse than in the 40s. It was just terrible. But they still, she's enjoying it. It's a popular show, and just there's an international. And maybe this is a good thing to bring international production into America more so. You know, there's stuff being made all over the world, whether it's in China or Asia, or Southeast Asia, Africa. I mean, there's things that are good things that are being made, and to see that stuff might be great. I mean, they're great stories.
Well, and presumably they have their guilds, and they don't have any issues with their studios wherever they're located, and they're just going to keep churning out content while everything here just gathers dust.
And they have free hand using AI.
Yeah. I don't know.
That is. It'll be just interesting to see exactly. I think the first place you're going to see the AI is going to be in pornography, just like the first place you saw sort of the not 3D but virtual reality, and they will experiment with it first. And man, if it cuts down the cost of actors, and I mean, there's nobody there. It comes out of a computer. There's no site. There's no stage. There's no cameraman. There's no actors. There's no nothing. There's no script anyhow. But aside from that, there's
just a bunch of skeezy music.
Yeah. With public domain music
delivery guy,
and the computer can make new music. I mean, it is a bizarre change. I don't think people understand it, how sweeping or change, how much change. It'll be like the iPhone.
Yeah, and it's really devaluing the craft of acting on screen for the actors and things like that. Because I mean, think about if you do go to AI, then you're getting rid of all of your award season moments. Because are you really impressed by seeing some AI character deliver a flawless monologue?
Oh, wow.
Not really.
That's right. That'll be gone, and then of course all that work for all the extras goes away. So then that reduces the cost of craft services. That reduces the cost of catering.
Yeah, that's what Kristen was saying. You don't need the makeup artists anymore because you're not putting makeup on the computer. It's already perfect, flawless, getting the exact look you're looking for.
It's amazing how, look, this has been on the rise over the past few years, but now that it's here, it's like, whoa, it's amazing how the business seems to be changing so quickly now. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It just took me by surprise that it's here and it's revolutionized the business, I mean, it's really, really changed things. And that's, I guess, in a way that's scary. But again, I mean, one thing I want to see AI do is come up with original stories, because now they're going to remake The Longest Yard again.
Oh, they are for the fifth time?
Well, actually, yes. If you look at the foreign productions of it, actually Paramount has remade it. They of course, the original was 1974, I believe, with Burt Reynolds. And then 2005 was Adam Sandler's version. Now they're going to remake another American version, but Great Britain did a version and Egypt did a version, and they basically changed it from football into soccer. So yes, indeed, including the foreign productions, this film has been made 5 times or will be. It will be number 5, number 3 for American versions of it.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, no creativity at all coming out of this town. It's fresh. Now, I shouldn't say that. I mean, yeah, there's some good stuff. It's really original in talking about an older movie that I don't know, it's maybe the last 10 years or so, is it's called The Autopsy of Jane Doe. We watched it last night, and Brian Cox from before Succession, was in it, and it was actually very interesting and very creative. And I thought, horror movies you can allow that to happen within horror movies. Whatever, they're trying new things to make you scared, right? But with everything else, like the Marvels coming out this week, it's superhero stuff again. It's The Longest Yard again. It's Mission Impossible again. It's just the same thing over and over and over.
Well, I have something new.
Uh-oh.
A special mystery guest for Dad.
Mystery guest?
I'm calling to wish you a happy birthday, sir.
No, here's trouble.
Pissed off that you forgot mine on Sunday.
I did not forget yours on Sunday. You weren't around, you pill.
I was. I actually had a great time. Sarah and I went to our little famous blues jam at a VFW in Bloomington, and a whole bunch of my friends showed up. Some high school buddies of mine showed, some that I hadn't seen in a number of years. So it was great.
God, we weren't invited to that, Catherine.
Wait, you've got friends?
Well, they get money from the state, but I pretend they're my friends.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Really,
belated.
Yeah.
When are you coming back on the podcast, you pill?
Well, give me a call sometime. I'm still searching for jobs, although I'm being unemployed completely sucks. I'm in the interview process with 2 or 3 different ones, and you have to wait for corporate people, and it's like, oh God.
But they're doing well. You're doing well with the interviews?
Yeah. No, I'm making it into the final round of a couple of things that I'm really actually very excited about. I just can't really. One of them I have to sign an NDA, so I can't even really talk about it.
Jeez.
And what, 10 job interviews for one job, right? It's like down to 10. It's crazy.
Unbelievable.
I'm driving my wife crazy, however, because she, I sit around the house and do about, half an hour's worth of work a day, and I'm like a 1-year-old lab, when the master comes home. So what do you want to do? And she's like, get away from me. I'm going to watch a girls show. Talk to me at 6 o'clock. Like, okay,
there you go.
Be sad.
Well, I want you to know, Mr. Sprinthal, that I did indeed wish you a happy birthday on Facebook.
Yeah, see.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. I got a lot of social media sucks other than one time a year when it's your birthday. And it's like, it's so cool.
Wait, I do.
I mean, really.
People love me.
Yeah. And I have to wish Tommy a happy birthday here, because even though on Facebook it says it's his birthday, he's not going to look at it.
No.
That's right.
So happy birthday, Tom, as well.
One more thing before I jump off. I was listening to the interview with a guy that did the book about Mal Evans.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy that. He's a fascinating guy. Now, there's a quick Mal Evans story. So he was the Beatles road manager. Actually, if you watch that Let It Be thing, he was suggested some vocal changes in some of the songs as they're writing them. But he was a big dude. He had to be like 6'6", and he was upper twos for sure. And you know the song Maxwell's Silver Hammer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he brought the anvil into the studio and played it with like an 8-pound hammer. And when you think about it, nobody in the Beatles would have been strong enough to play that. 'Cause that's not synthesized. That's real.
It's like more cowbell.
Maxwell. It's like, holy. Yeah, but try doing that with an 8-pound hammer for a whole song and getting it perfectly in time.
Well, now that you're here, Doug, and bringing up the Beatles, I need to know how many of you have watched the new song, the video, but also a great mini documentary. It's 12 minutes long. You can get it on YouTube. You can get it on Disney Plus. The making of Now and Then, the last Beatles song. It is so great.
I follow a musician on YouTube called Rick Beato. And
I know who he is.
Everybody, and they're really long form. I mean, he'll interview Sting for an hour, and he's a great musician. But I watched his breakdown of it, and first he showed how they pulled with AI. Actually, the original. They erased the piano part that Lennon played, so they could get the vocals a little bit more in focus. And then he's breaking down the chord structure. But at the end, he goes, I'm glad that they released it, but I also think that some things should just be left alone, and this is probably one of them. And I agree. It's cool. It's nostalgic. It makes you miss the band, but it's not Eleanor Rigby. Let's face it. This is not. It wouldn't have made it onto Rubber Soul. It wouldn't have made it onto any record, quite honestly.
I love the tones. Just to bring them back is good enough for me.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was just powerful to show what AI is going to. I mean, this is just a glimpse of what AI is going to be capable of in the future. Yeah.
So I think the only jobs going to be left for entertainers are doing live plays, and it'll be a panacea for people that are tired of watching perfect AI performances on 84-inch plasmatrons.
It seems like they're finding a lot of work doing game shows now too, though. With the strike, seriously. That's it. They're hosting game shows. It's crazy.
That's terrible.
Yeah, one place that those AI video production presentations would be exceptional and might supplant live performances in the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
because when you sit in that theater, it's the inside, like 2/3 of the dome are video screen that you're watching, and that was you could see that when the U2 was playing. And actually U2 was on a stage. It looked like a postage stamp from many of the seats. But the big presentation was this video presentation around you. So we'll see.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of guys that saw U2 there a couple of weeks ago, and they said it was just unbelievable. I guess at the end, a crane or something comes out, and it's a scene of Las Vegas, and it slowly dismantles the entire strip and turns it back into the desert.
Oh,
really?
Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
Half of Minnesota was at one of their concerts.
Well,
I know so many people that went out there to see them.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It was such a show or such a spectacle that Lady Gaga showed up to cover a couple songs.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a very interesting change in entertainment as far as the venues go.
These guys did suggest not taking psychedelic drugs before attending the show.
Oh, freak out.
Well, they have special rooms there for people who are overwhelmed with anxiety because it's so much stimulation.
Really?
The music, which is individually focused, along with the visuals, along with the emotion of being there to see a band that you may have never seen in your life, may never see again, along with the amount of money you spent to get those tickets. Aside from all those things, can bring people to a point where they don't have a breakdown, but they are just incapacitated, and they're just drugs on top of that. Mm-hmm. If you've taken psychedelics, if you've taken anything with that, I mean, the whole thing can just bring you down, man.
No doubt about it.
Anyway, Tommy, I'll sign off and let you get back to the show. Have a great birthday, and well talk soon.
Okay, just tell everybody you're talking to. You will be back on Thursdays, and they will sponsor it.
Okay.
All right, pal.
See you later.
Talk to you later.
Yeah,
Bye.
Doug.
Doug
Bye.
Sprinthal. Been working with Dougie for years and years and years, and I miss working with him. He's a great guy to work with.
Yes, very pleasant human being.
I just got a message from a couple of different people. Apparently, several thousand people have wished me a happy birthday.
D-Hart did.
D-Hart did.
Several
Yep.
thousand people.
Aaron Michaels, Perry Lensing, Scott Brault. I mean, it goes on.
What about
and
Ethan?
on.
No.
Yeah, what about Ethan's birthday?
Joni Mitchell. Joni Mitchell took a little bit of your limelight away.
Uh-oh.
It's her birthday. She's 80.
It's Johnny Rivers' birthday today, too.
Really?
Yep. Joni and Johnny.
Joni Mitchell.
Isn't that
God.
Joni and Johnny?
Isn't Chachi?
Chachi? Is it?
Isn't it? No, Joni and Chachi. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
Joni and Chachi.
Oh, see, here we go. Tyre Carver sent in happy birthday to you and Ethan.
There you
Yay.
Doc and Jeff Passolt sent something in. Of course, we had a couple of, Doug Sprinthal, they're not there. What the hell does that mean?
They're not.
go. I don't know.
Rick and I wish you a very happy birthday. Frank Vassalero, happy birthday, Don Tomaso. You got Mike Molina, happy birthday, Tommy.
To you, baby.
Tim Stanley. I mean, it goes on and on and on. To get several thousand birthday wishes, thank you so much. You people are amazing. No doubt about it. All right. Where are we going now, Timmy?
Well, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not looking forward to this week because the big movie is The Marvels.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I have so much. And you, Tom, how many years have we been doing this? You know, it's getting close to 10.
I know.
And there was a time where I was actually excited about these movies. I'm not excited anymore. I'm not. It is interesting, however, to see a movie like we talked about last Friday, Priscilla, and showing a different side of Elvis Presley. And are you going to see it eventually? It's going to be an awards contender, so I would imagine you're probably going to get a screener of it sooner than later. But are you interested in watching Priscilla's story, where Elvis is part of it, as opposed to Priscilla being part of Elvis's story? Because I'm telling you what, man, it's a lot different viewpoint coming from Priscilla.
Is it a good viewpoint or not that great a viewpoint?
Well, it's a confusing viewpoint. You know, starting with the whole idea of Elvis being 24 and her being 14.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
What can be different about that?
It's just it's more confusing. It's like, what is it that you possibly could have seen when you're at the height of your career, your superstardom, in a 14-year-old girl? That's what's confusing.
I don't think it's confusing at all. He was a pedophile.
No. I mean, it's confusing to me. You're trying what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to defend it. What I'm trying to say is, what is this guy thinking? And it's frustrating trying to figure out what the hell this guy was thinking. Because again, it's black and white to everybody else, but to him, it's like, okay, why did you have this strange fascination? It's just, it's frustrating in a way. And in a way, when you're watching it, you feel very uncomfortable the whole film, because you know where the film starts, when she was 14 years old. And it racks your brain saying, what are you thinking, man?
Does she talk about that? Or
I
mean, what a weird thing that was.
Well, yes and no. I mean, the interesting thing is, and I pointed this out in the review last week on Tom's morning show, you know, she was a big supporter of the movie Elvis. And I'm not sure if she was a producer or not, but she worked very close with Baz Luhrmann on that. Yet at the same time, she's the executive producer on this film. It's based on her book from 1985. How is it that you can have things both ways? I don't know. It's just so strange and so weird and
it is, yeah.
so uncomfortable. And again, you know, you try to figure out what was this man thinking? That to me is frustrating.
She looked like him to me. I mean, she was like the female version of him.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see what you're
You're
saying.
just a pure narcissistic weirdo thing. I don't know.
I'm in love with myself.
Well, one thing that I read that
Found
made
myself and fell in love.
yeah, I know. One thing that I read that possibly might have delved into his mindset at the time was he lost his mother not too long before, like a year before he met her, something weird like that. And he looked at her as purity because that's how he looked at his mother. And that's why. At the same time,
no matter how you phrase it.
No, I'm not excusing it. This is one hypothesis that somebody came up with.
Just like whenever we talk about Elvis, we should Elvis and so many people we've lost with drug abuse and things like that. The drug abuse, pedophile, Elvis. That's what that should be with that all the time. He losing his mother is no excuse for pedophilia.
No. And again, Ralph, I mean, I'm not trying to go that way. What I'm saying is this is somebody else's hypothesis of what he was thinking. That and that, but my question is, if he's finding purity, why was he locking lips with her on the second date?
Yeah.
So
it's just creepy as all hell.
It is. That's very creepy if he was doing that.
Yeah.
No question about it. What are you going to do?
So I don't know. Are you going to watch it or not?
Not if that stuff's in it. I don't want to.
It just hangs with you afterwards, and
Yeah.
it just feels so. It's like uncomfortable. If you love the guy's music, like I'm not going to say did. I'm not going to. I mean, look, there's a lot of troubling things that these big musicians have done. I mentioned Bernie Taupin. I mentioned a couple weeks ago to you how he said how it uncomfortable made him to see Jimmy Page along with a 14-year-old girl tagging along with him.
What is that?
Yeah, and then of course we have Michael Jackson. I mean, there are so many of these people with these weird,
R. Kelly.
They've got all this money and power. It's like, what is with you? Why do you have to turn into a complete?
Well, and that's the big thing, and they bring it up in the picture. The father of Priscilla said, "You have women falling at your feet. Why my daughter? You have everything you could possibly want. Why her?" And again, that's the big question that's just racking your brain. You're right. Why her? Why her?
Because they can. Yep, that's why.
Yep.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Let me put it in perspective for you.
Very troubling.
That means that Fawny in 6.5 years would be doing that.
Married.
Can you believe it? 6.5 years.
Listening, so they go, just so you know.
Well,
She's not going to do that because Nana will steal her away to a remote.
Well, and they didn't get married until Priscilla was 22.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
At least there's
Yeah,
that.
that just makes it legally skeezy.
That makes it all good.
Yeah.
You can't eliminate the skis. But you know what? Isn't it interesting how history has willingly overlooked all this stuff?
Yeah.
Until you get a picture out there that says, okay, you know what? Because obviously the book, I don't know if it made waves or not. It was 1985, but it took 40 years for somebody to make a picture about it. Probably nobody wanted to go there because it is disgusting to think about. So yeah, it's a skeezy, it's an uncomfortable, it just makes you feel gross watching it. It's like, what is wrong with this guy?
Well, on a more positive note, Emil says happy birthday and Yaksemash.
Hey,
Yaksemash.
baby.
Mike from Blaine says happy birthday to you and Ethan.
Oh, Mike from Blaine, when's he going to come in again? He started coming in when he was a little kid with his mother.
Oh, he
wasn't a little kid. He was like 20 something.
Yeah.
No, I thought he was a teenager.
I don't think so. Mike, how old were you? How old were you 12 years ago, I guess? Or
There
whatever.
you go.
Maybe he doesn't want to divulge.
While you're looking that up, I'll tell you, Lenny is a guy I worked with in the record business 42 years ago. Sends me a birthday message every year. But thank you, Lenny, for this year sending me a birthday cake where the cake has about 200 candles on it. And there's a fire extinguisher right next to it. So thank you, Lenny.
After like probably 20, you just get the numbered candles, I think.
Yeah, probably.
After,
just
it's
too many.
Yeah, so probably 21 is we just put the 2 and the 1 on there and
exactly.
call it a day.
You don't need more candles.
I love the trick candles. I did that first time.
I remember
ones
that.
Aunt Anne was up, and I gave You can kind of tell because they sort of are bluish. They're not like
Yeah,
they don't
and they
look right,
sparkle a little
and
bit.
they sparkle a little bit. And she kept blowing them out, and my goodness, with her little Texas accent.
The Lenny cake. There's no cake. It's all candle.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have to run. So happy birthday, Tom. Happy birthday, Ethan. And we'll talk with you on Friday, Tom. Everybody have a great week.
You too. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Mike says he was in his 20s. So there you go.
So he was in his 20s, really?
Really?
God, very young looking 20-year-old.
Well, let's face it. At a certain age, 20-year-olds are little kids.
Yeah, I suppose that's the thing.
I know. I look at a 20-year-old and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What? How are you legally allowed to do anything?
Right. Yep. I'd be like, and then I'd look back at myself as a 20-year-old, like, how was I legally
Yeah,
allowed
totally.
to do that?
What a loser. I mean, I speak for myself. I didn't know you at 20.
I know.
But
Really driving at 16 wrong.
It's
wrong
truly,
at every
truly
level.
wrong.
16
Absolutely
way
not.
too young.
Absolutely not.
Mo definitely. Dan Seaman and Timmy Stanley sent me a happy birthday.
Oh, that's sweet.
Dave says it was good to see you or Mom and Alex, because you can't see who I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't seen you in a while because you don't show up on Fridays.
You don't show up.
I put that
It's
part in.
not our day.
I put that
It's not our
part
day?
in.
So
Why are the kids off of school? Why are kids running all over the
It's
place?
a polling place. Our school's a polling place.
Oh,
because there was like kids running all over Edina. Like they're just running down the streets together. I was like, it's
Kid
fire
Rampage
drill? What's
Day.
happening? It is. It's Kid Rampage Day.
Kid
Our
Rampage.
school's a polling place, so they
So-
don't have school on voting days.
Catherine, I heard you laid down the law for
Which
the
one?
caffeine intake.
I was gonna say he's drinking sparkling water.
I have a
instead
witness.
of-
I have a witness. We have a neighbor, but he'll turn on me because he's Tom's friend.
Oh, okay.
How it always works with you men. You men sticking together against female
Rose before hose.
empowerment.
Yeah.
But I didn't name the rule.
There were very sad eyes as he drank the last drop of his diet cherry Pepsi.
Okay,
today.
what happened?
Well, the man
What
can't
happened?
sleep. The man can't sleep
No.
because he drinks
You
40,000
do drink.
gallons
Okay.
of Diet Pepsi a day.
I need you to know. Have you seen
And how
the?
many times he's quit because he knows that it's bad for him, but
So-
he keeps on.
Let's attack Tom on his birthday.
It's not an
There's
attack.
there's
I don't know.
this.
Some people may say it's an attack.
There's
It
a
was his
show.
idea.
There's a show called like 600-Pound Sisters or something like that.
Yeah,
Apparently.
yeah, there is. Yep.
And there's this clip of them right now. They're at a doctor because they want to lose weight for I don't know what reason. I'm not sure.
600
And-
pounds?
Yes.
That's 600 reasons.
Is
But
it
like
600
I don't. But I don't
pounds
know if
together?
it's like no. I think they're each.
Holy moly.
I think.
No, I think they are. Yes.
600. Let's see.
I think
Yeah.
they
Fact
are.
check.
Yeah. Fact check. I'm not sure because I
They
only.
appear to me to be 600
Yes, they
pounds
look
each.
600.
Nice.
Just from a
To my
visual.
uneducated eyes.
Guesstimating.
Oh, okay. Here's what it is.
Yeah, I was like,
it's
there's
1,000-pound sisters.
Oh, it's 1,000, and they're
and
each
combined,
500.
they
Okay.
weigh 1,000
My
pounds.
600 and
Yeah.
400.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's,
they're at this doctor talking about like, what do you eat? What do you drink? Like, what do you drink in a day? Do you drink water? And they're like, no.
Never.
And she's like, what do you drink? And she's like, sodies.
Sodies.
Because Dan was talking about he let the kids have the cane sugar Sprite. He bought like a glass bottle of Sprite.
Mhm.
Yep.
Fawn has been saying she wants to try Sprite. And so he's like, want me to buy you some sodies? And he looked at me like, haha. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
This is a new word.
Yeah.
And he's like, you haven't seen this? And it's these two women, and they're like, we drink both these sodies. And then she was like, how many sodies do you drink in a day? And they were like, I don't know, like 8 to 10. And then the doctor, like, it zooms in on her in like a dark room, and she's like, no one should be drinking 8 to 10 sodas in one day.
That's
and I
a
was
lot
like,
of
Dad
soda.
drinks 8 to 10 sodas in a day.
Easy.
Times
For
two.
sure. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
easy.
So you and the 1,000-pound sisters can go on your journey together of
And
no
You know,
sodies.
I saw something on Twitter about how the fattest man in the world in the circus was like 50 years ago was
like 400,
Yeah.
was like
300 pounds or
and some
something.
odd
Yeah.
pounds,
Yeah,
and
it
now
was.
it's like 600 pounds.
Oh, they show up as a Gina half ton.
1,000?
Yeah. Well, bro, those people can't move. They can't get
How's
out of
that
bed.
possible?
Well, there's that my
Right.
600-pound life, and there are people that are like 800, 900 pounds.
People feed them. There is
there's always an enabler.
There's this psychological dependence that the people
It's a very
need,
sick-
and they feed on. They bring them food.
Yep.
If you don't bring them food, they lose weight.
There's always an enablers.
But they're
They get out-
abusive. They're abusive and mean
Mhm.
too. On top of it, I used to
Who-
watch that
who,
show.
the people carrying extra
no,
weight?
the person who's being
Okay.
fed.
Yeah.
So the
there's
so
always
the
an
person carrying
enabler.
the extra weight.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The person that's feeding them is not the abusive person. So
Well, it
Oh,
is
maybe
kind
they
of
are.
an-
Maybe
it
they're-
is a
that's a
little
way of abuse.
abusive.
Yeah,
if
well,
you're
then-
bringing somebody that kind of
Because it does get to a
calorie count.
slippery slope where you're like, well, no, I'm just not going to feed you, so you lose weight. It's like, well,
you can feed them, but you don't have to feed them 4 buckets of
right.
chicken
Every,
every day.
every time they ask for more dino-shaped chicken nuggets, you don't have to say
Yeah.
yes and shovel them in.
and you have to eat massive quantities of food to maintain your weight.
You
I
can
mean,
stop eating.
Oh, you
I mean,
can-
you have to just
Yeah,
eat
you're just
every minute.
continuously eating, sort of feeding the fat.
Yeah.
Because it's metabolizing and it's burning a few number of calories, but it is just you have to eat 10,000-20,000 calories a day.
Easy, yeah. I don't even know how you physically do that because
Without
like when I was
barfing.
when I was eating as much as I wanted and whatever I wanted, I never came even close to that.
Well, I mean, they don't have a metabolism that left.
No,
at
they
all.
no,
And
they,
don't
no, they
move.
do. The whole point
But
is they
yeah,
do
but
have a
don't-
metabolism.
But they don't move.
It's not a physical metabolism
It's
on muscle. It's on everything else.
It's almost like.
Well, but
they're
I
in a
mean, like what
coma.
I'm saying is, okay, so when I was, in my 20s and I was just eating nothing but Slim Jims and Kit Kats all day.
Yeah.
I still couldn't fit 10,000 calories worth of them in my stomach without feeling horrible.
Well, you have to train your stomach
Oh,
to
sure.
Yeah,
eat
gotta-
that
gotta
much.
expand that
and-
baby.
It's like
and-
alcoholics;
I
they have to
suppose.
like work their way up to being
Yeah,
able
yeah.
to have.
Yeah, you don't just start
5
with-
bottles of vodka in a day.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
You
have
don't
to-
start with 3 pizzas in an
Yeah,
afternoon.
it's
No, it's
training.
true.
You gotta
Moderation in all things, people.
Yep.
Moderation in all things.
And then my thing is, how do you have the budget to
So
continue
that's-
that?
also
Like, 'cause
that.
So
you're
where's
not
that money
working.
coming
Yeah,
from?
where are you getting
Yeah.
this money from?
I mean, I feed these 2 small children, and I'm like, wow, I spend so much money on groceries, and they're very little. Like, I don't
and
understand.
you have the fact in America, calories are too cheap.
They're way
Yes,
too
calories.
cheap.
They are
You can
too
go
cheap.
to
Well, not
any
anymore.
you can go to Target or Walmart. You can buy a 1,500 calorie cake for like $8.
Yeah, that is true.
There is just no such thing as non-voluntary starvation in America
Well,
at this
there's
point.
also a lot of really low quality food that's all
Mhm.
shot up with
Yes.
hormones and antibiotics,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
that's
it's
true,
cheap
too.
to farm it. It's
Yep.
cheaper to farm it than it is.
Those people aren't
Oh my
eating
God, I
that.
have to leave.
But they're eating things that are high caloric oil and things like that. So,
Yep.
Right.
I think a criticism would be more, processed oil pizzas. They hit the pizza really hard.
Mhm.
They hit the pizzas hard.
Well, let's see, how many calories is a large pizza? from
Right, hey, well,
Domino's?
let's look at a double stuffed crust.
Well, that's the other thing is you
Cheapest
can get
pizza
like
you can,
Or even
Yeah.
you go into the store and you're getting your 3 for $10 frozen pizzas, and now you're just shoveling them down
Yeah.
your gullet every day.
Yeah.
It's not healthy.
down your gullet.
I don't know. I was trying to think of a new word. to say
Pie
for
hole.
mouth. Your pie hole. Yeah, it's nicer. I don't know. This is-
Okay, not that this conversation is riveting, but I have to leave.
Riveting.
Sage I have to go to Sage's parent teacher conference. Remember, you're
Okay.
taking the
Yes.
kids. I need your car keys.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right.
Exactly.
Boo. See you at dinner.
See you
Where
at
is your car, by the way?
dinner. I'll tell you in a moment.
Well, here
You're
we
staying
go.
here with
So one large pizza from Domino's, just pepperoni, red sauce, regular cheese, 2,400 calories.
Whoa.
That's one
There
pizza.
you go.
Go
That's
for it.
one
Where
pizza,
you-
and people are eating 2 or 3 of these a day.
And how much are they per pizza?
Let's see.
like $10, $9.99.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
so cheap.
Yeah, they're
So-
not expensive.
So if they're suppose somebody's just eating pizzas and they're eating and they want 10,000 calories, so they're eating 4 per day. That's $40 per day. So $40 per day per month would be
$1,200.
$1,200 per month just in food. Well, that's not much money.
No, that's not that
No.
bad.
I mean, I don't know. If someone is on disability because of their weight, because of their problem, because of their eating disorder, in essence,
Mhm.
if they're on disability, how much do you? I don't know how much do you get for something. Do you get $1,200? You get $1,500 or two? It seems like
Yeah.
$2,500. You got to live too.
Right. And then when you're essentially now just getting the reason you're on disability, getting that money is because you're essentially feeding the habit. It's like an alcoholic using his disability check because he can't work because he's drunk all the time to then just continue to buy alcohol. So yeah, you have to have some sort of intervention at some point.
What? Yeah, if socially we're going to do that. It'd be nice to be able to do that to help people because of the serious health problems associated with with drinking too much, eating too much, smoking too much, all those things.
It's huge burden on the system, all these people. But no one can say anything about it because then you're mean. But it's interesting how we can put up billboards warning people about the warning signs of, anorexia, that sort of thing. That's fine, even though the anorexia problem is what, 1/1000th as severe as the obesity problem.
I don't even know what the numbers are.
They're not very big.
Well, there's way more. The problem with extra weight that people carry, including myself to a certain extent, is much, much greater in America than people who don't eat enough.
Yeah, those people are virtually a rounding error compared to obesity and things like that. But we never talk about obesity nearly as much as we talk about eating disorders.
Yeah, we talk about diabetes, which is caused by obesity many times, but we don't talk about the cause.
Yeah, the answer is always here, have another drug to keep your A1C in check rather than go lose weight.
Here's your Ozempic.
Yep.
Boy, that's supposed to be used for everything now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's used for weight loss. That is a popular drug.
Yep.
Hollywood
Pop a pill.
It's not a pill. It's a shot now. They're talking about having a pill, but man, that is one serious drug.
What was that released to do in the first place? Because it wasn't for weight loss.
It was to help diabetics control their insulin. For pre-diabetics to be able to be control their insulin. They found that the use of that drug with certain kinds of activity and diet control, people who are undergoing new treatment for diabetes, resulted in weight loss. And that was, it's a bit like Propecia. Propecia was a testicular cancer drug. Then they noticed that all the guys who were taking them were getting more hair.
Really?
So, it's a secondhand effect of it. Some people say a side effect.
Where was the hair growing?
It was growing in
right.
Because with my luck, it would sprout out of my cheek.
Out of your chin. Yeah.
How about the 4-corner calzone? How's that doing for calories?
It's like, how boring is your life that you're like, pizza? I've had so much pizza. I need it in a different shape to appeal to me now.
I know. Well, it's true.
Well, that's Detroit Pizza Square.
Well, but
doing nothing.
It's not just like, square cut versus triangle cut or whatever. It's like a plus shape.
Yeah,
and it's like, what is the point?
Right. And especially because we're tired of getting so many like Marvel movies, but we just keep repurposing the same sauce, cheese.
That is true.
And bread into different forms for pizza.
Have you ever had pizza?
I have. You can make pizza very different.
Even bad pizza is great pizza, but there haven't been any real improvements or revolutions when it comes to.
Isn't everything just a marketing ploy?
Well, yes.
Rebrand.
Your comment was telling because no pizza is bad pizza. That is
absolutely
not true.
Disagree.
No.
I disagree.
Pizza Hut is inedible.
Even if you have bad pizza, at the end of the day, it was still pizza, so that you could have had something that was probably a little worse. Yeah. For sure.
There's always worse food
think
out
of like
there.
a frozen pizza. That's not good pizza, but it's still pizza at the end of the day.
It's pizza at the end of the day. I agree with that. I think that that's exactly right. There's no bad pizza. Yeah, right. if it's moldy, no bad pizza.
Right.
There's no bad pizza.
Right. Like the worst pizza I've ever had, if you put it in front of me, I'd probably still have at least one slice.
Of course.
Yeah.
But then we need the crust.
Not the crust. I'm not an animal, but.
Remember a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about soda pop and that we call it pop up here in Minnesota?
Yep.
We were watching Corner Gas, which is a Canadian show, and they call it pop too.
They do.
We were like, hey, they just said pop, just like us.
They're one of us.
No wonder why people think we're Canadian.
Hashtag relatable. Just like me. Like me for real.
I will never forget. I met Doug Dawson down at a golf course in Florida.
Another fine Canadian.
And they were grouping people. These people, we all didn't know one another. We were new to the area, playing golf and all that. So they put Doug Dawson and me together. And I said, well, it's nice that they chose you to be my partner. And Doug and I have become really, really good friends and all the rest of it. But the reason that they put Doug and me together is that Doug is Canadian and so am I, because I'm from Minnesota.
Yeah,
They
closer.
thought Minnesota was Canadian.
Well, it's probably a closer drive to Doug's house than it is to anybody's house in Florida.
Probably true.
Yeah.
But they literally thought Minnesota was part of Canada.
That's right. And a lot of people believe that they speak Spanish in New Mexico.
Yeah, they do.
It's
A
part
lot
of
of
Mexico.
They speak New Spanish.
New Spanish.
Spanglish.
There's a new Spanish, Spanglish.
There you go.
So everything else rolling out.
Rolling out.
Yes, it's all rolling out.
Well, I'm just checking in. You know, we got a lot of stuff going on today, running pizza in the ground just because it's very, very, very high in calories.
Yeah. Devin and I weren't running pizza into the ground. We were trying to elevate it to its appropriate height on the culinary food chain.
Pizza's one of those things where it's like you have, half a pizza a week.
Is it pizza and gravy? Aren't they on that USDA kind of a thing?
Gravy?
I think you're supposed to either pizza and gravy or one of the food groups you're supposed to have.
Yep. Yeah, it's a different pyramid than the normal one they use, but that is true.
It's
the food sphinx.
The common, the common pyramid.
Yeah.
I want you guys to guess. My family's taking me out for my birthday tonight for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we going?
Pizza Hut.
I know the answer, so I won't ruin it for.
I think we all know the answer.
Well, what kind of cuisine? That
What kind of cuisine? Yes. What kind of cuisine?
Steak.
Because nobody's good.
You gotta have a steak.
Nope.
Well, he might. He might.
Well, I might.
You
That's
could.
true.
You
I'm gonna
could.
have the same thing I had there last time if they have it.
Hopefully they got it.
That was phenomenal.
We went there and I said, I looked at the table next to me. I'm like, that is a Tom Barnard dish right there. Is it good? They're like, it's delicious.
It was phenomenal. We're going to Campiello.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which they're closing in 2
It
weeks.
was like a braised
2 months, I
beef.
mean.
Oh, I was going to say,
with
the
spaghetti
timeline
thing.
moved up.
No, they're closing in 2 months.
Oh, yeah, January 1st, I think they're done.
Yep. Not even 2 months anymore. A month and a half. A month and three quarters.
No, it's a sad, sad thing.
So the D'Amico brothers just backing out of this market.
I guess they've got some problems with the lease. There's some roof issues, and the people won't fix it. They're making them fix it, and I think that the D'Amicos are getting closer to maybe not wanting to do a lot of things. They're getting at that age where it's like
this isn't going to affect any of the D'Amico and Son locations.
I don't think so. I think somebody else in the family might run those.
The
maybe
lasagna.
The Son.
The lasagna D'Amico and Sons.
Yeah.
Top tier.
It sure is.
Their food's great.
But they closed the one in Wayzata.
Did they close the one in Wayzata?
Oh, did they really?
Long gone.
Oh,
Long gone.
I think that if they've got any sort of leasing issues, they're probably just going to say, because they've got there's a Campiello still in Naples, Florida.
Yeah.
And that's where they're going to end up. Yeah.
Well, that's why I say they're backing out of this market just
They
slowly
might
but
be.
surely.
Well,
Just
I think
like,
they're
why are
close.
we-
They've got something downtown. It's not. What's the one downtown? They have a restaurant downtown. I think they're closing that one too because it's downtown.
Yeah. But I mean, I think Larry's like 75, and I think Rick is like maybe 77. I think.
Wow.
Did Alex talk about Dan's bike ride into Minneapolis?
No.
Oh,
You could.
He went on a group bike ride into
At least the
Minneapolis.
kids are being quiet. That's good.
Yeah, really. I thought Alex had to leave.
She did.
She
I'm
did.
taking these critters home with me.
Oh, I see.
Anyway, so he went on this long bike ride with a big group of guys. You guys got to go out and giggle.
Oh my God. See, it's a
Anyway,
joy.
he's
It's a
like, yeah,
joy.
I saw some stuff. They rode their bikes by where the Kmart was burned down.
Yep.
They saw a dead body just laying there in the
wow.
gutter.
Interesting.
Just laying
Yep.
there in the gutter. He's like, I could not believe what I was seeing.
They didn't,
I
call, they didn't
couldn't
call the police.
believe.
Well, he's lucky he didn't go like downtown.
It's worse.
It's worse.
Oh,
Downtown,
yeah.
downtown?
Well, I
Like,
mean,
where's
the
worse?
area of Lake Street where Kmart is, that's really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I was
downtown
like, what are you doing there anyway?
is not great either.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is right outside of where you live.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, I was walking by there. 2 women fighting naked. Like, okay.
Sounds like Minneapolis.
Yeah, when I drive anywhere, there's always at least one person standing in the middle of the sidewalk having an argument with himself.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Poor souls. I mean, those people that need help like that are just that's a
Yep.
tragedy.
give them more drugs.
They're
Give
not
them more
gonna get it.
drugs.
Yep.
And it's constantly
And a
just
tent.
moving those groups of people around. So if they all congregate, so it was recently in front of the library. Well, now the city went and put up a bunch of fences and stuff. So now they got to go find a different area. Then they'll go find a different area and they'll put their new thing is like they'll put spikes up on benches and stuff. So that way people can't sleep there
Yep.
at
Oh,
night or
yeah,
on ledges.
yeah.
So yeah, it's all just moving them all around until they're kind of out of sight and out of mind.
When we go on vacation in Florida, there's a guy that rides a bike. One of the biggest pricks I've ever met in my
He's
life.
always nice to me.
He's nice to you, but he apparently hates my guts because he's never nice.
He likes Jude. He's always like, little doggy, that's a Cavalier King Charles, isn't it? And I'm like, yes, it is every single time.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not.
I
very
see him
pleasant
probably
to
twice
me.
a day, and he's always talking about the dog. He likes the
Yeah,
dog. You just need to walk a dog, and then he'll be your friend.
You people. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, you know.
He goes, yeah, you know.
Homeless? I don't think you're homeless.
All right, well, that's what I mean. He's homeless.
Not if I can help
Unhoused, whatever.
We got a couple of minutes. Anybody want to get any closing arguments?
Yeah, we watched a good movie.
Oh, good.
Delicieux. It's a French movie with English subtitles, and it's a story of really the creation of the first French restaurant.
Oh.
And they've set, and I think it's an imaginary kind of story, or a fictional story. But what it does, they set it right before the French Revolution. So they have some commentary with regards to privilege in that. But it's really well done as far as a food movie and a sweet little love story and vendetta story and everything. And vendetta really well done. You know, and really to the complexities. It wasn't quite as good as Waking Ned Divine, but close.
I love Waking Ned Divine.
Oh,
God,
one
I
of the
love
best
it.
movies, best stories I've ever had. They were so good.
All right, that's going to do it.
Yeah,
Apparently,
I
we're not
think
going to
so.
get any silence.
Yeah, I think we got to get these. He just stole my purse and came in wearing it, going, I stole your purse. I think they're getting bored.
All right.
You're right.
Yeah, we got to go run them around somewhere.
All right. Well, we got 56 minutes in, so that's good.
Plus, they want cake.
Oh,
They've
that's
been
right. They all
promised
want cake. That's true.
Should we sing? Is anybody?
We sang 2 words earlier, me and AJ, but they got shut down.
Yep.
Here,
Is it
let's
still
get them in.
copyrighted?
Let's get them in.
I don't know. I don't think
do a
we sing it
song.
well enough for the copyright to kick in.
Now, Happy Birthday is public domain at this point. I'm pretty
It
sure.
is.
Well, it was
Absolutely.
I don't know, some deal with it. Lindsay said it had run, but whether it
Sing
run or
sing into my microphone.
Happy birthday
Ready?
to you is public domain.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Baba. Happy birthday to you.
We have to light them first.
How old are you?
Anybody got a match? All right.
Okay, we will just. I got to wrap it up by saying this. There's a perfect time to say it. My great friends are here. Some of them, not all of them. 3 generations of my family's here. You can claim to be a victim and your life sucks and everything's horrible. Well, I'll take over the other side. My life is magnificent, always has been. I adore my family and friends. Have a good day.